Two.
What do you mean the mics are hot?
Mics are hot.
They're
not hot, but they're on.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the North. Are we ready?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
over there?
I think we're there.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net, the most interesting net in two-way radio. Tonight we're live from Studio Vanguard. We're linked in with the following repeaters.
Tonight we're linked in with Flagship, Noonan, Buckhead, Toccoa, Fort Mountain, Rome, Zebulon, Watkinsville, Cades Cove, Columbus, Lookout Mountain, White Oak Mountain, Chattanooga, Georgetown, Ottawa, and Mount Roosevelt.
This net takes place every other Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank all of you who've made this, the North Georgia GMRS, the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And I'm Atlanta 180, WSM 231, and my name is Jim.
And I am Atlanta 1150, WRZV 748, Tony.
And I am Atlanta 263, WSAL 368, Rogers.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear about. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC GMRS call sign. If you're checking in on YouTube, please include your FCC call sign if you have one, your first name, and your general location. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. Also, when you tune in on YouTube to follow along, even better, you can tune in after the net to watch your appearance here on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. A good way of doing a self-radio check. Call into the program tonight.
Testing 1 2. Oh,
and
mine's on.
You'll know what you sound like to us and basically to everyone else. Leave a comment on the YouTube live stream so that we know you're watching, and those are the interactions that mean the most to help the channel grow. What are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we're talking about the website and Webtools, NGGMRS.com, and any web tools that you use to make your RF station even greater.
Fantastic. Lots of resources on the North Georgia GMRS website. And we know that we have lots of people that are watching the YouTube channel and lots of people that are just monitoring. They stumble across us because they got a brand new GMRS license and they hear all this traffic. Let's break. We'll be right back. And maybe we can help them learn a little bit more about how GMRS works, how repeaters work, and some of the resources that are available on the internet that maybe they haven't found. So, but before we get to that, Jim, do you have any announcements tonight?
I have quite a few announcements tonight that we need to go through here. Good evening, everyone. This is WSAM 231 Atlanta 180, and my name is Jim with this week's news and announcements live from Studio Vanguard. Tune in tomorrow night for the North Georgia GMRS Network's Friday Night at 9 Simplex Challenge on the Monument Repeater. Tune in to learn about emergency comms and the use of simplex frequencies. And then near and dear to my heart, beginning at 7:15, the North Georgia Amateur Radio Association's Friday Night at 9 2-meter simplex challenge, which we did from the lodge last week, and it was just beautiful. I don't know how else we could say that. It was a blast.
You have a good view. I saw a couple of pictures of you guys,
including the sunset.
Yeah. It was a great sunset. It was a great time just hanging out with radio people.
But how was the contacts? Did you make good contacts?
Yeah, no, we could hear everything. In fact, we were sitting back and letting other people, make their contacts back and forth because we had that log periodic antenna that Mark brought up there and set up, and we were on the Yazoo, and we were just killing it from up there. It was awesome.
Nice.
So that's again tomorrow night. It won't be from such a beautiful location. It'll be from my ham shack. We'll be hosting that, but we will be on the N4 Q repeater, thanks to Mr. Pete, and we're looking forward to the Simplex Challenge. And don't miss Saturday night sessions, except for we're not doing it this week. No, we're taking this Saturday night off to honor our nation's 250th birthday because it's the 4th of July. We're not going to have that challenge, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of us talking on the net that night. Talking on the network that night. Let's see here. So tune in Saturday, July 11th at 7 p.m. on any NGARA network repeater for the next segment of Saturday Night Sessions. All right. Here's the good part about food and gatherings, the good stuff we've been waiting for. So pay attention, grab a pencil, and put these in your calendar if you're interested.
It's always about food.
It's always about food.
You got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that. And also, we're talking about resources tonight. One of the greatest resources in this network and joining this network are the people that you meet. And I don't know of a better way if you're new to the network than to coming to one of these lunches just to meet the folks around you and really, attach some faces to call signs. So if you're thinking about wanting to meet some folks and build some community, check these out. The Kennesaw Gathering will have our next Meet and Geek on Tuesday, July 14th at noon at the Old Town Grill on Cobb Parkway, around the corner from McCollum Airport in Kennesaw at noon. Bring your radio, Mesh-tastic, or MeshCore programming issues to discuss and resolve. They'll have a mobile test bench available after lunch, and they can test and program most popular radios or help you get your Mesh-tastic node configured. Please reach out to Ed, Atlanta 557, beforehand on the air or via email at WRQG806@gmail.com. That's WRQG806@gmail.com, and we've got a break. If you're planning to attend, please let Ed know so that he can have enough seats there and so that they can have the right programming cables and software available to fix whatever you've got going on. Chattanooga Radio Luncheon, Friday, July 17th, is at noon at Champy's Restaurant at 6515 Ringgold, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 37412. All GMRS, ham, Skywarm spotters, plus friends and family members are welcome. Come and talk radio or not. Talk about anything that your heart desires. Contact Jonathan Chat 30, or Ronnie Chat 69, or Jim Chat 84. The Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch meets on July 18th at JR's Log House Restaurant, which is located on 6601 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard at Peachtree Corners Circle on top of the hill next to the bridge. Put some spring in your step and join us on the third Saturday of each month, noonish until 2:30, 3 o'clock. This will be our first hot summer gatherings prepared for a tasty meal and matching call signs with faces. We're already expecting new attendees. Congratulations to our new GMRS new member named Ash who came to see us as a guest in May. That's exciting. See the Facebook post from June's gathering. Radio enthusiasts, bring your equipment and questions. We love questions. We'll be glad to give you whatever assistance you require. Special booth inside available for programming, etc. To ensure the correct number of seats, please respond by text or call out to Atlanta 849 Pamela or Atlanta 848 Ernest or email skygazerpamela849@gmail.com. That's skygazerpamela849@gmail.com. The next Northeast Crew Lunch will be held on Wednesday, July 29th at our usual location, Rooster's Cafe in Dahlonega. We usually meet up around 11 a.m., and we always welcome any ham radio operators, GMRS operators, or anybody just interested in two-way radio. It's always a good time with some good people and great food. Hope to see you there. For more info, contact Bobby, Kilo, Quebec 4, Mike, Jim, Lima, or Joe, Kilo, Quebec 4, Mike, Juliet, Oscar. Hamfest conventions that are coming up. This one's pretty soon. So in July 18th at McMinn County ARC Hamfest, Athens, it's just off of 75 between Chattanooga and Knoxville. It's an AR Hamfest, and the sponsor is the McMinn County Amateur Radio Club.
We can buzz through those. We don't need all the details.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too far into the details.
Yeah.
I was only talking about the ones that are right now. Let's see what we've got here. Chattanooga Hamfest is, oh, wait, that's all the way in October.
Yeah, just mark the dates for the Chattanooga Hamfest, October 16 and 17. That's a Friday and a Saturday. Friday from noon to 6 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And one change to be aware of this year, the Stone Mountain Hamfest is going to be on... Oh, I have the wrong dates for that as well. The dates...
Here, Hamfest is Friday and Saturday. Let's break. It says Friday and Saturday, October 30th and 31st.
Yeah. So it's usually the first weekend in November. This year, it's going to be the last weekend in October, and it's a Friday and Saturday.
Not a Saturday and Sunday like last year.
Like
Right.
usual. So if you're planning on going to the Stone Mountain Hamfest on Sunday...
The place to yourself?
You'll have the place to yourself. That's right.
Well, you'll get to have lunch somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah. You may not see very many hams. Unless you go to you could go to a barbecue joint.
Yeah.
You
Probably
could.
see some hams there. All right. Okay. What else do we have?
That's it.
That's it.
Back to you, sir.
All right then.
Time to go home? What? No?
No,
no.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
Sorry.
take a break. We'll go to the top. We're going to start off with some additional check-ins, and then we'll get into the program. We'll be right back. All right, we've got a handful of YouTube check-ins. We'll go ahead and acknowledge those real quick. We've got Blue Ridge 100 Alex in Blairsville checking in on YouTube. Atlanta 129 Kenny in Woodstock checking in on YouTube. Columbus 25 Peter in West Point. Atlanta 583 Kelly in Marietta. Is this our Kelly from Field Day?
What is this called?
He's WSDN 583.
I think it might be.
Kelly from Mary. Kelly, if that, let us know in the chat if you were helping us out there at Field Day. And
Doing the C-dub.
we got WSAX.
Kelly says yes.
Whiskey Sacks.
That is Kelly.
Okay, awesome, great to have you in here, Kelly. We got Joe from Jacksonville, Florida, from the YouTube live stream, and the Velvet Elvis, Chattanooga 69, Ronnie from Las Vegas. Good to have you along. Looks like one more coming in here as we speak. Let's see if Ed can get this one punched in quickly enough. Is it?
Well, I see one missing, but Ed said he got it, but I don't see it on there.
Let's see. I see one coming in right now.
And we all met her this weekend. 181.
Ah,
in the chat.
Atlanta 181. Melissa's checking in on YouTube, and
She's checking in and out on YouTube. So
Uh,
you know what? We'll call this a first step.
First
Well,
step.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Well, this is. I'm glad to see you in there, Melissa. But we really do. We got to hear your voice on the air. So
Yeah.
maybe next week that'd be okay.
But you
keep
got to
going.
give her credit for all the work she did on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah. So many people did so much of the but I mean just instrumental things. All the behind the scenes stuff, all the shuttling stuff back and forth from the cabin to the site, up and down those stairs. I don't know how many times. Circling it around like vultures circling over a carcass looking for a parking spot.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It was.
How crowded things were down there on Saturday.
And for those wondering, we're talking about, we did field day on Saturday.
Field day on Saturday and
for the
and
for
Sunday.
the amateur side.
So yeah, super busy. Lots of people showed up. Lots of people contributed, in really solid, meaningful ways with their time and their energy and up and down those stairs. Are we going to have to deal with stairs if we do this again next year?
We are not. No. We can roll straight into the site if we go with the site that we're currently holding. There are no stairs. So if anybody loved the stairs, I'm sorry about that. But for everybody else, there are no stairs.
Well, the good news is if you do love the stairs, we're really not that far away from
Oh,
them.
you can take a walk and get to them. So
Yeah.
typically, if you miss those stairs, you like to walk.
Yeah. So if you really wanted to experience the stairs, it's just 5 minutes away.
If you want to experience stairs, go to the top of the falls.
Yeah.
Walk those.
That'll break you of the habit.
That's yeah. So let me break. I'll be right back. So typically, what I'll do is I'll drop Julie and the kids off at the bottom, and then drive up to the top, just as a courtesy, because
That
I
way they
know
don't
that
have
when
to
they
walk
get
back
there,
down.
they're not
Right.
going to feel like walking back down.
Okay.
So I sacrifice, to make that happen for them, because I really, really would like to see the falls.
Only the new people to the net really understand that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So that's the game I usually play. When we go there, the first stop is always at the lodge. We go all the way to the top to the lodge to use the restrooms because they're cleaner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then we go explore the park. So, but that's one of the pro tips that we've picked up along the way.
Nice.
So,
Experience is what that is.
we did a fox hunt years ago at Amicalola Falls, and we had 3 foxes. The first one was a very small one, and it was located behind the visitor center. There's a little learning area out there with some displays and some plaques and stuff, and the first fox was hidden in plain sight. It wasn't behind or under; it was right there in plain sight. But you just don't know what you're looking for, and when you see this 9-volt battery hanging out of a tree with a circuit board attached to it, it doesn't really register that, hey, that's the fox.
Exactly.
But that was the fox. And then we had another one located at the base of the falls, and it was a little more sophisticated in that it was just simply a small black plastic box. There's no wires, no antenna sticking out of it, and it was propped up against one of the posts for that little walk bridge, that first walk bridge over the stream as you're going. So it was. I mean, it looked like it was maybe even part of the bridge. You just didn't even realize that was the deal, but that was the deal. And then the most obvious thing of all, at the top of the falls, was an ammo can.
Oh yeah.
A full-size ammo can with a big antenna sticking out of the top of it. I walked around for half an hour. And, I knew it was close. It's got to be right here, It's got to be, you take the antenna off your little HT and you turn your body around, and the signal's almost the same every way you turn. It's got to be right here. Turns out I was standing right next to it. It was just over the fence in the pine straw.
Oh, that's brilliant.
In the pine straw, just a step away from me, in plain sight. So Scott Vaughn would love to tell us all about his Hamfest, his fox hunt adventures with his son Dane, and we got to do that again sometime. So let's find all new hiding spots, but let's break. But plenty of reasons to go to Amicalola Falls. If you missed it this year, I think we're definitely planning on going again next year. We've learned some lessons. We have some ideas and some stuff we want to try next time around. So we're gonna actually get together and talk about some of those ideas, put them down in a notebook, and start planning. I think we're going to start planning now for next year's event. So we'll have regular meetings until we get to the point where we can't stand each other, or we have another field day event. So
Yep.
We had a lot of fun, and I hope that lots of you did as well. And if you missed it, like I said, I definitely would encourage you to come out to the next one. A great opportunity to meet people, to learn stuff about radio, and just overall wonderful fellowship, cooperation, lots of work, and lots of people showed up to do the work. So that's fantastic. Oh, and before I forget, Blue Ridge 20. Do you know who that is?
No.
That's Tom.
Tom. Okay.
Tom Watley.
Watley.
Say happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
And your picture's up here.
Oh, very good.
Tony brought your picture up from Field Day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like there I am pretending to do FT8.
Well,
And,
there's not a lot to it. You just click a couple buttons, but it is radio.
That's a real shot, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so hard at work. I've got my finger right on that mouse button. You can see that I'm almost ready to put some pressure on that button. So, yeah.
Locked and loaded.
Waiting to click somebody.
Yeah. So we're going to... It was a good time. Had a lot of fun. The FT8 was kind of cool. It's very automated. It's very just kind of sit there and watch it and try not to fall asleep. My eyes are open in that picture, aren't they?
They are.
No, I can't really tell.
I don't know.
Yeah, so...
Oh, you got the stairs of insanity coming.
yeah, good stuff. And had a lot of fun doing FT8. I didn't do any phone, but Mark had his turn at phone, didn't he?
Yes.
Mark and Gary.
Mark.
New
Yeah,
Gary.
absolutely.
Mark, Gary, and then Rhino.
And Ryan.
And you guys did some in the middle of the night. I guess while we were sleeping, baby.
Absolutely. No, yeah, we were absolutely getting some 40 meter and some 20 meter whenever the FT8 station was taking a break on 40. And absolutely, and yeah, Gary was instrumental in hooking up the laptops to. We had them all networked on a non-connected wireless router out there, so that we could all see who was logging what.
Well, we've got Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman, and we've got Rhino, the 40 meter Madman.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So,
From Cheshire Bridge, on Cheshire Bridge Road.
From Cheshire Bridge Road, that's right. so very good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a break from this. Oh, we've got we acknowledged Melissa. We'll take a break from this, and we'll take some additional check-ins, and then we'll get started. This is, let's go ahead and ID again after we break. This is WQIR 514, Atlanta 946. My name is Justin.
This is WSAM 231, Atlanta 180. My name is Jim.
And this is Atlanta 1150, WRZV 748. Tony.
This is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Rogers.
All right, and we're looking for check-ins from anyone other than a flagship user. If you're on a flagship machine, please hold your traffic. It probably won't take long to get through these, but let's go ahead and see what we've got from any repeater other than flagship. Net control standing by.
Net control. Net control, if you can hear it, the COA 33, WRCS 814. Please check me in. Feeling down. Sound good. Stop filming.
Did you copy that?
32? No. Tacoma something. This he's waiting on it.
Tab off that and see if it populates. Nope.
Yes.
We'll leave it there for now.
No.
This is WRVR 303, Chattanooga 30, Jonathan in Hickson, Tennessee, checking in.
Jonathan's in. Yeah.
I know. I don't know how I clicked that. I must have clicked the wrong button.
Cheers. FFY 24, Chattanooga 24. Just me in and out. Fall through this side. We're going out for dinner to Olive Garden. Have a good day. Talk to you next week. If the good Lord's with us.
Amen.
This is WRQL 521, Brandon and Cedartown. I don't know if you got me last time. WRQL 521.
Brandon and Cedartown. That sounds like somebody's gonna get in trouble. Rogers, were you able to make a comment?
I did.
I can't get out.
He's
He's
not
not
on the-
outside. Do it.
No.
Yeah, I
can
can do that shortly here.
Jim never got onto the or the Wi-Fi.
Oh. Then I will fix that.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to acknowledge what we've got. We heard a Tacoma station, but we just got so much noise we couldn't make out who that was. We didn't get the full TAC number, but we did hear a Tacoma station in there. Right after that, we heard Jonathan Ryan booming in nice and loud and clear and clean with a fantastic signal. So Chattanooga 3-0, Jonathan and Hickson, we've got you. Chattanooga 2-4, Roy Lee, we've got you marked as in and out. We've got you in here somewhere else as in. There we go. But it's okay. You can log in twice now. It is.
You can do the two for the YouTube and the RF, right?
Or you can do RF twice. You can do
Well.
YouTube twice. We really just don't have any rules anymore. So
No.
and then we've got I think it was WRQL 521. Brandon in did he say Silver Creek? I think Brandon was in Silver Creek.
Sounds right.
All right.
I'll go with that.
All right.
I'm on.
Okay. And that's what we have this time. We'll continue with check-ins from any repeater other than... No, we're going to check in from any repeater, including flagship. Any repeater, including flagship. Net control, standing by.
WSNK 260. Is WSCR 427, Atlanta 170, Fred and Jefferson. Checking in, checking out.
This is. Good evening, Net Control. This is WRNW 488, Atlanta 532, Tom in Flowery Branch. I'll be checking in and checking out. Have a great net, everybody.
Oh yeah, we got it. Should be the last one right there. Right there. Me and my hand call sign.
WSNK 260, checking in.
I think Ed did that.
Net Control, Atlanta 191. We're here to have a break.
That's Jim's story.
We've already got him in.
Yeah. He wants to make a comment.
Oh.
You can put him in there though. I'm all right with that. Yeah. Our numbers are kind of meaningless anymore. I'm not really impressed with how many we get or don't get, or you know.
We're already knocking on 50 right here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Same.
which is down from where we've been, but it's also up from where we've been before we were down, and you know, it's just a number. All right, I heard something along the lines of Whiskey Sierra Kilo 26 there. So I've got WS space K 260. We didn't hear where you're from, but we do have that entry in the log. We've got Atlanta 170, Fred, and Jefferson is in and out. Atlanta 532. Tom in Flowery Branch is in and out. And Jim, let me, I'll come to you here in just a moment. Hang tight for me, and we'll get you in here right away. So I think that's going to bring us right up to tonight's topic, which is basically we're going to be talking about the North Georgia GMRS website and some of the tools and resources that are available right on that website. Many of you probably know we've got a lot of new people out here that tune in and find us all the time. And this program is really geared towards the new folks that may not realize how much information is actually available right here on the North Georgia GMRS webpage. So tonight we're going to spend most of our time right there on the webpage. We may explore a couple of other pages along the way as well. And let's just go ahead and check in here with Jim and see what Atlanta, was it 190? I think it was 190. Jim, go ahead.
Atlanta 191. I was just going to let you know, I think you did hear the person. It was either a 262 or 260. I could hear him trying to check in while you were talking about the field day, so I don't think he's on the repeater channel.
That could very well be. And, that's a great opportunity for some of the new folks that are out there. If you're hearing us, if you're a brand new GMRS user, one of the things that befuddles so many folks is how repeaters work. And we'll talk about that here briefly. And so when you've got your brand new GMRS radio and you're kind of flipping through the channels and you hear some traffic on there, there's a couple of things that you need to know in order to be able to talk over a repeater. So the first thing that you need to know is what the offset is, and that's pretty standard in GMRS offsets. It's always +5, which means if you're receiving on 462 dot whatever, you're going to be transmitting on 467 dot whatever. So that's the frequency that the repeater listens on. That's the frequency that you have to transmit on, but you also have to have the PL tone. All right. So if you are transmitting on 462 instead of 467, then some people are going to hear you, but the repeater won't. And if that's the case, you're only going to be able to reach out to those who are very local to you. Simplex, basically.
Simplex, exactly.
So you bypass the repeater altogether, and you're just on 462.6 whatever, and or 5 or 7, whatever the case may be. And anybody that's also on that with the PL tone, or if you don't have a PL tone on your receive, you'll hear all the traffic. Either way, if you've not properly programmed your radio for the repeater function, you may not be actually hitting the repeaters, which is why some people can hear and why maybe you cannot. So bear that in mind and maybe take a look at the programming on your radio and see if you can figure that out. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and talking about resources, one cool trick, if you wonder that person you hear on the repeater, are they really close to me? You can tune over to the repeater input frequency, the one that you transmit on, and listen. And if you can hear them talking on there, then that's probably somebody you could get on Simplex.
And that's a great trick for Friday Night Simplex Challenge. During the repeater portion, when people are checking in, if you want to switch over to 467 and listen on some of those repeater inputs, particularly the repeater that's closest to you. But maybe a couple of others would be worth listening to as well. And if you can hear them, in that frequency, you're right. They're probably close enough to Simplex too. So good stuff. All right. And with that, thank you, Jim, for that heads up. We'd gotten word also that someone was trying to check in during the monologue, suggesting that maybe that person couldn't hear us and was trying to get in. So that's the other thing is anytime we've got the key down, do you remember when you were in elementary school and the principal pulled you aside and said, when your mouth is open, your ears are closed? Well, that's the way two-way radio works. When you're keyed down, we don't hear anything from the field. We can see YouTube chat, and we do get some text messages from some of our operatives out there that are telling us some things that we may or may not need to know. Yeah.
You need a break?
Oh, the light's flashing, so we should break. We'll be right back. So yeah, that works the same way in two-way radio. If we're talking, if we've got the key down, and you try to key on top of us, we're not going to hear you. Probably nobody else will either, unless they're really, really, really close to you. So, all right. And Webtools, I guess, is tonight's topic. So we'll start off right there at the North Georgia GMRS webpage, and from there we'll just if you're unfamiliar with that it's pretty simple to find. It's just simply nggmrs.org, and that'll bring you right to our page. And there's a few things right there at the top that are worth taking a look at real quick. If you'd like to learn how to become a member, you can click on things like membership level or purchase and donate. And we also have the list of repeaters is available right there at the top. But membership levels will take you to a page that will show you the various levels of support that you can engage in. So basic single user membership, which I recommend most people start at, is $90 per year. One thing you need to know is that's not we don't prorate that through the year, and it does expire at the end of December. So come January 1, everyone
just a calendar year.
Yeah, everyone will need to renew by January 1. We'll start taking renewals in November, but if you become a new member or you renew in November, that will cover you through all of next year. So if you want to wait just a little bit and become a member in November, get those 2 extra months for free, you can do that. But consider where that money goes, all right? So we have the largest linked repeater network in the country. We are maintaining and finding new locations, repairing repeaters, recovering stolen equipment. We are replacing stolen equipment. I mean, so there are losses that a big network like this that are just going to take because of damage to locations and things like that. We have expenses related to tower climbing. We can't do our own climbing anymore, so we have to hire that done, and that's not cheap. So that takes a big chunk out of our annual budget. We do half a dozen climbs or more every year, so that's a chunk of money these days. And just the equipment that we use is all first rate commercial grade equipment. We don't you're never going to find a pair of excuse me. You're never going to find a pair of Motorola radios with a controller module stuck between them to be a repeater. These are all first rate commercial grade 100% duty cycle repeaters. Let me break. So that's where the money goes to support all of those linked repeaters, and to pay for the rents, and to pay for the power bills, and to pay for networking, and all of the things that we have to do to maintain this network. And it's not cheap to do, but what we find is a lot of people, after they pay their $90, they decide they want to get their family involved and upgrade their membership. Jim, you might know something about that. How do you do that? If you've already become a member and you want to upgrade your membership,
I think Jim's an expert, isn't he?
What
I've got recent knowledge in this.
Recent knowledge.
What would the process be?
Well, you look at the next member level. So if you're a solo member, but now you want to add a second one, you step on up to the silver level, and then what you do is donate the differential between the two in cost.
And send an email and explain what it is that you're trying to do with that donation. And another good tip, like for instance, if you got 3 or 4 kids in your family, or even 1 or 2, and a spouse that seems like maybe someday she'll play radio, but probably not today. When you first become a member, make a note that I've got 3 members, 4 members in my family that might someday want to be. What that'll do is that'll give Gary an opportunity to find a slot that has some spaces. Because what happens, Jim, if you're a single member and you decide you want to upgrade?
To keep everything together, usually you get a new TAC number. That's why I'm no longer Atlanta 102. I'm in Atlanta 180.
Atlanta 180. Flip.
Yep.
Yeah. Flip. So Jim has his whole TAC number world has turned upside down.
But it's worth it to be next to Atlanta 181.
I think that is
I'm glad my feet are off the table or
yeah.
floor.
Yeah. I think that is a good call, Jim. So
Got some brownie points for that one, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He doesn't send her a kiss in the chat.
I've been married 32 years. You pick up some tips.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's
Okay.
good. That's good stuff.
Anyway.
So yeah, just include a note with your new membership that you have family members, and we will find a spot and reserve some of those spaces.
Or you can look on the list. You can go on and look at the member list and see if there's a group. Maybe that you got a favorite number. Maybe it's available and all that.
Where is that list, Tony?
That is on the website. Let me pull it up for you.
It is on the website. So how would we get
We're
there?
going to do there. We're going to show you real quick.
There's also
I'm
a
on the
link there
website.
to be able to email, and then that can let everybody know what you're trying to do, and you can get answers to questions. It's a great resource.
Right. So we're going to go to View Membership Roster.
How do you get to that page?
Jeez.
Yeah,
you-
we got to
you're
shoot
more
right from the very beginning.
So if you go to the very first page, which is this one.
Okay, and
right
then
here.
and then you scroll down.
And you scroll down to helpful links.
Okay.
Membership roster.
Boom.
Then you have tabs at the bottom. Figure out what area you might be in. You got Atlanta, Alabama, Blue Ridge, Columbus, Chat, Dallas, Rome, Gainesville, McDonough. How many do we have?
I don't know. There's a bunch.
We got a break. We need a break.
Let's break.
All right, we're back now. So say if we pick Atlanta, we can pick the Atlanta tab, and you can scroll down through here, see all the members. Most of these numbers are taken up, so if you see a blank line, that's reserved. You can't use those. Let's go a little farther. Here's, 195 is available, but maybe you need more than 2. So you can kind of go through each one, and you can't pick, I couldn't pick, if I live in Atlanta, I can't pick Rome, right, Justin?
No, we really prefer that we not do that. So,
Right.
But if you had a reason to, for instance, if you had a vacation cabin or hunting cabin in Rome, and that's where you spend half your time or something, then that might be justification for it. But
That's
for the
definitely
most
worth
part,
an email.
We kind of want to base it off of where your mailing address is, so that they kind of fit.
Okay. Excellent. So there's plenty.
The repeater map is also useful. If you're new to the network, you can look at the repeater map and find out what
Find out which one
repeaters
you're close to?
nearest me.
Let's see. I think I
So
have that up somewhere.
the other thing that's useful here is you can, with that membership roster, as a brand new person, it can go a long way towards helping you learn some of the people that are here. A lot of folks, when they're brand new in GMRS, like to keep a notebook to log the contacts that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fantastic idea. And so after you've made your paper note, you can go back and you can fill in additional data like the call sign and the region and things of that nature, so that your paper logs are a little bit more complete and neater looking. Question I see in the chat talks about TAC numbers. What are TAC numbers? Tony, do you have a good explanation for TAC numbers?
No, I don't.
How about you, Rogers?
Well, TAC numbers are numbers that are given to us other than our call sign. But basically, if you have additional members in your family, it's like I'm Atlanta 263, but I have no other members in my family that are in North Georgia GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
But if so, just how Tony was just showing, hey, maybe my son would be Atlanta 264. So the TAC number is just an easier number to remember versus remembering someone's call sign.
Which is much longer. I agree. The TAC numbers
yeah.
are much easier to put TAC numbers to faces when you first start out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so the other thing that we have to consider, GMRS radio is really a family-based radio system. And it's kind of a cousin to Family Radio Service, FRS. We overlap frequencies to a big extent. So that being the case, we're looking for a way of identifying family members within a call sign. So your one license will cover your whole family. So when your son is old enough to start playing radio, you don't have to get him his own license. Let's break. Rogers, the license that you carry will cover it will cover your son. It'll cover your siblings. It'll cover your parents. your step family, aunts, uncles, nieces, grandparents, grandchildren are all covered under that one GMRS license. So if you've got 2 people that are operating under that one FCC license, or you could have 10 or 12 people operating under one license. TAC numbers are a way that we use to distinguish individuals under that license. And in GMRS, most of us know each other by our TAC number rather than by our call sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case in amateur radio, where everyone knows everyone by their amateur
Actual
call sign.
Right.
But in GMRS radio, almost no one knows one another's call signs.
Correct.
But we know each other's TAC numbers.
We might know the last 3 of it, but we don't. That's about it.
That's about it.
And that's just because we hear it a lot.
That's right. That's right. So, hope that's a good explanation for TAC numbers. And if there are additional questions, go ahead and throw them out in the chat in the YouTube there, and we'll bring them to light and see if we can get those questions answered. That's really tonight is all about some of these more basic questions, and like to get a lot of those kind of questions answered. So throw them out there in the chat. Don't be afraid to ask. We would love to help everybody understand how radio works.
Well, if you're on the radio, you could throw a comment at the end too, and ask a question.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So I'm looking at other chats in addition to that chat.
Right.
And so, all right, lots of data to process when we're here doing whatever it is we're here doing.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we trying to do?
Right.
We're trying to communicate to the best of our ability what we do.
So roll on back up to the top of the page there. We talked about some of these buttons for membership and stuff.
Okay.
But then there's also some donate buttons. And one of the things that I want to point out, because I hear people comment about, $90. There's not a radio club in America that charges $90 a year for membership. So who are we to ask for that kind of money? I'll tell you who we are. We're the largest linked repeater network in the country.
That's correct.
You don't have to participate. If that's too much money for you and that's not something that you want to be a part of, that's okay. There's a lot
of repeaters in Georgia that you can talk on.
There are a lot of them within our footprint that you can use. Instead of paying us to use our network, you can access some of these other repeaters. And when you get to the place where you realize the value of what we offer, I'm certain that you'll be back. And,
Absolutely.
And you'll be ready to write that check. So, and that's okay. What we also see is, let's break. What we also see is a significant number of our members that not only pay the $90 a year, but also pay additional money on a monthly or even sometimes a couple of times a month. $10 here, $50 there.
Right.
Just little bits and pieces of additional money. They believe in what we do. They appreciate, they recognize the value of this communications tool, and they want to be supporting us at a level above and beyond. And, there's a tremendous number of people that find value in North Georgia GMRS. So when I see people making donations above and beyond, and then I see other people saying it's just not worth it, there's a big disconnect there. There's a big disconnect. There's people that maybe $90 a year is tough to come up with.
Right, and we get that.
And we get it. I understand it. And if that's truly the case, if you really feel like this is something that's important to you and you want to be a part of it, we'll scholarship. We've got some funds that we can apply, or we'll do it one time, but we can get your foot in the door and get you going for a season, and it's up to you to maintain it after that. But or if you've just come across hard times, if you've lost a job or had to downsize or whatever the case may be, and it's going to be tough to make it for this coming year, we don't want to drop you. We'd love to be able to keep you in the network for another year. So we have a way of comping some members. We have donors that contribute money specifically for that task. So
and I was really surprised how many people are members that might not even use it once a month, the network.
That's right.
They just know that they want to have a network available if they need it, and they could always rely on it. It's always there. So, there's a lot of people that do that. They might listen a lot, but you don't hear them on the radio as much, but they want that network to be accessible when they need it.
To be there and available. And so that's part of it, because, if you're only going to pay while you're talking, and if you quit using the network, you quit monitoring the network, then, of course, move on to other things. And a lot of people do. They move on.
Sure.
We lose a lot of members because they pick up an interest in amateur radio.
Right.
And then they've just moved on and they're gone. That's part of why we decided to bring out the ARA network, because we wanted to provide a linked repeater network in that field too. But lots of times we've seen people that have become GMRS users, have joined the network, had a great time, were busy on the network, engaged in the network, and then they're challenged, right? They want to, what's next? What's the next big thing?
Yep.
And they become so involved in amateur radio, going to ham clubs, participating in community events related to radio. They don't have time for GMRS anymore.
Right. Or they might not have a family based where they have other members that they want to talk to and all that. So that's what I think what's great about GMRS is anybody in your family could use it.
Absolutely. Let's break. So, and like I said, when you go to that membership level, there are a number of levels there, and you can choose something that fits.
We'll throw that out too. There's an
to
existing member update as well. If something changes in your license or your email address or something like that, please log in and update that. Whenever it happens.
Yeah. So, and if you're not getting our emails, our email list is based on the information that you submit when you fill out this form. So if you're not getting emails, it's because you need to fill out this form.
Right.
There's no filter. We're not going through calling different people. No one's getting. And I'll tell you the other thing we're not doing is we're not going through looking for who are we missing, who didn't register. So if you're not getting the emails about things like the Smith Family Barbecue or the Field Day event or any other events that we send emails out for, the reason you're not getting them is because you've given us a bad address or you fail to update the information that we have on file for you. So when we go in and do an email blast, it's all automated. Gary formats the email. He sends it off to the web page, whoever it is. I don't even know who we do our web stuff with anymore. And that gets formatted and sent to everybody who's registered on our web page. So the next thing I want to talk about, if you continue to scroll down from the top, the next little block of stuff there is for Hobbit Communications.
Good stuff.
Hobbit Communications is our very own radio shop, and it's primarily GMRS radios. We do sell a very limited number of radios that can be used for ham. I think it's primarily going to be the Anytone.
The Anytone stuff.
Mm-hmm. If you want to use that for ham radio, and that's going to be UHF, VHF. That's not going to be HF at all.
Right.
But the Anytone's a good radio. But mostly we sell Kenwood radios. And so what's interesting about the Kenwood radios at Hobbit Communications, these are Part 90 commercial grade radios. So these are the same radios that policemen, firemen, utility workers, railroaders, same radios that get installed in vehicles, and the same handheld radios. And what I think is really interesting, now the HTs tend to be a little bit more expensive. If you're going to buy a Kenwood HT, you're going to spend a little bit more than you would on a Anytone HT, or you're going to spend a lot more than you would on any kind of B-Tech radios that are out there, or the equivalent class. But you're getting a radio that you can drop in a mud puddle, you can pick it up, you can shake the water out of it, and it's still going to play. You can drop it, you can abuse it, you can get it wet, you can just work the snot out of it. These are radios that are meant for industrial, commercial applications. Mm-hmm. Let's break.
Net Control, lifetime member 17, WRKN 464, Atlanta 1402. I've been a information is updated. And also, let me know how to get on the Facebook. WR.
All right, Todd, we'll add you into the log. There was an opportunity to check in, and there will be another one before we close the program. But, you know, if you feel like you have to interject in the middle of the program, we'll go ahead and add you to the log. Yeah, if you're not getting emails, that would be the reason why. We've explained it a number of times, but we've not seen you update your info in that page. So I don't know. You'll have to consider that. But back to the Part 90 radios. These are radios that get used in industrial service and last a long time. In fact, one of the radios in my truck is a Kenwood TK880. It's an old used radio that I got off of eBay. Probably had that radio for 6, 7, 8 years. And it was a used radio when I got it. And that radio is as solid today as it was the day that probably it came off the factory floor. These radios are built to a different standard. You know, I know that some of these radios that folks have experimented with, these Wushans and these BTECs, have had outstanding warranties and have great customer service. They're really quick to send you a replacement when your radio fails. These Kenwood radios come with a 3-year warranty that I don't think you'll ever be able to exercise.
Right.
They just don't fail. You just don't have to deal with that. It's a very odd or unusual occurrence if you have a radio fail. And in most cases, if you do have a radio that's failed, it's probably because of the way it's being used. If it's properly installed, it should be just fine. If you're trying to crank 40 watts out of a radio and you're only giving it 8 volts, it's going to have a tough time.
Problematic.
Yeah. So it all depends on how they get treated. But then on down the page, as we continue past the Hobbit Communications portion, we've got a listing of some of the various nets on North Georgia GMRS. So we've got the Thursday evening regional net you can listen to. That's every other week on GMRS, and it alternates with amateur radio. So if you're not hearing us here, you can hear us on the amateur radio side. And we're every week on the live stream. So if you can't tune in to one or the other, you can definitely pick us up on a live stream. Skywar Net is on the northern region only, and that's on Tuesday nights. Friday night at 9, Simplex Challenge is every Friday night, both on GMRS and amateur radio. We do 2-meter Simplex Challenge, and we do a GMRS Simplex Challenge, typically in the Monument repeater. And, of course, we have the Emergency Standby Net. So if we get into a bind, if we've got some kind of a weather event or any other natural disaster or unnatural disaster in the area, cell phone towers go out and communications are affected, any of a number of things may cause us to activate the ESN. Let's break. And the ESN is basically just a certain number of people that are specifically monitoring the network. We don't come on and take over. We just kind of passively monitor. If somebody has some trouble out there in the field, we'll have somebody who can listen and respond, and they are also equipped with tools to be able to find and communicate with various 911 centers throughout the North Georgia GMRS coverage area. It's a GMRS-only network, but it's designed for just ensuring that we have continuous monitoring of the network while the event is underway. So tornadoes, severe weather, hurricane kind of stuff, if we have those kind of things blow through, the ESN will be activated. Regional fires, if there's a big forest fire going on, if there's anything that could be an emergency kind of a situation, we'll activate the ESN. But even when the ESN is not active, there's almost always somebody listening on the North Georgia GMRS network. So if you ever do get into a bind, you should be able to call out and get some help. And then continuing on down the webpage, we've got some photos and some information. The photo gallery is kind of cool to go through, and there's some history there. So you can find out about some of the beginnings of North Georgia GMRS. We've been around since 2007, and we've got quite a collection of locations and repeater sites out there with a handful of pictures from all of those. And then there's also an instructional page that will tell you how to get your GMRS membership. Continuing on down a little further in that bottom right-hand corner, there's a step-by-step guide for the membership, which is I don't see the here it is, all the way down in the bottom. We have a step-by-step guide to get your GMRS license.
Would you need a step-by-step guide?
Yeah, it's so the step-by-step guide is really cool because it takes you through. It's still mostly relevant. Some things have changed over the years. Like, for instance, when I got my first GMRS license, it was $70, and it was good for 5 years. So 5 years into my GMRS experience, they made it right after 5 years. They made it 10 years.
Oh wow! And then drop the price on you.
And then
After they got
5 years after that is when they dropped the price. So so I paid $70 for 5 years twice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, not well for you, maybe. And just so everybody knows, the picture of the trailer that's in that picture shot too is what we're in right at the moment.
That's right. We're inside of
Studio Vanguard
of that vehicle right there. So that's when it was parked up there at Flagship. And stay tuned because we've got some things developing. I think we're going to have some activities up at Flagship. We'll have more information here soon. Let's break.
Yep.
All right.
What other tools do we have?
We got the map.
Yes.
Talk about the map.
We pull that up right now. Zoom out just a little bit. There, we got Columbus in there.
All right. Sorry about that. A little sideline communication going on, but yeah. So that's the North Georgia GMRS webpage. Some other interesting and useful pages would be things like My GMRS and more specifically Repeater Book. Now, My GMRS is a good source for GMRS repeaters, but the trouble with My GMRS is it doesn't get updated. So if somebody puts a repeater in My GMRS, it's pretty much there forever.
Right.
And in some cases, long after that repeater's been decommissioned. And so what we'd found is because of a lack of any real attention to good information, instead it's more focused on a lot of information, My GMRS has become less than reliable in terms of accurate information about active GMRS repeaters. So while that was going on, Repeater Book stepped up and they said, hey, let's go ahead and add GMRS repeaters to our listings so that we can fill that need as well. And one thing that Repeater Book does that I really appreciate is that they ask that you relist your entries.
How often?
I don't remember how
year,
often.
or?
I think it's a couple of years. So we have to resubmit all of our entries, and if you don't, then they will let it expire and drop off.
Yep.
That way, if a repeater dies, if a club has a repeater in place and it gets taken out by lightning and they don't have the resources to replace it, it will eventually come out of that listing and is no longer noise.
Even on Repeater Book, it's saying here that for Georgia alone, one of them's been updated in the last 30 days, 4 of them been updated in the last 6 months, 23 of them have been updated in the last year.
Wow.
So there's only a total of 38 in the state of Georgia.
So they do require that you do that. So and I think that helps a lot to make sure that we're not just plugging it up with dead repeaters.
And what's nice is you can just pick your county. You can go here and pick the county you're in, and it will pull it up for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think that Repeater Book is a better resource for finding GMRS repeaters. Now, I know that my login uses an amateur call sign. Can you log in? Can you create a membership in Repeater Book with I'm sure that you can.
Yes.
Okay.
With your GMRS call sign, correct.
Okay.
I remember doing that whenever that was the first thing that I had was the GMRS call sign and doing that. So yes, sir.
Very good. Yeah, back in my early days, Repeater Book was exclusively amateur.
Yep.
So I use my amateur call sign to create an account, but I've noticed that I can look at anything GMRS, or I can look at amateur stuff as well. So, and did that log in?
We want to break.
Oh, yeah, we'll break.
No, it did not. Let me go back.
It will if you ask it to sign in. It should come up under me. But that's all right. That's probably better that it's not. Okay. So Repeater Book is another great web page, another great resource for GMRS repeaters and for amateur repeaters as well. And what else is out there that GMRS folks need to know about?
Well, one thing for Simplex that I love are these sites that show not necessarily RF propagation, but the line of sight.
So the topo maps, and some of those things. Do you have any of those sites that you use?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I'm sure we'll get a handful of them as we go through the members here.
Right, and there's some sites where you can plug in your antenna height, your the station that you're trying to reach, how many miles apart, and it'll show if there are obstructions or anything in the way.
And how far away they are.
Right, in that RF path.
Very good stuff. All right.
So that's a good one for Simplex use when trying to calculate if you can reach a station.
Okay. So lots of resources on the North Georgia GMRS page, and one of the things we really didn't talk about, if you go all the way to the top of the North Georgia GMRS page in the upper right hand corner, is a link to North Georgia Amateur Radio Association, where you can find a list of repeaters. You can find information about our mission in amateur radio, and just bear in mind that this is an amateur radio club that's less than a year old, with over 130 members. That we've grown fast and we're strong, and we are just getting started with things. One of our most recent activities was the summer field day for 2026, and we had a great turnout. We had a lot of fun, and I think that we made a really worthwhile showing in
a valiant effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did the thing.
Yeah, we did it.
So I don't know how we're going to score. We'll be getting those logs submitted here in the next little bit, and I imagine it's going to take them a while to go through the logs and verify and compile and whatnot. But at some point, we'll get a ranking. I'm just really curious to see where it's at. I don't expect that we're going to be anywhere near the top. But as was mentioned tonight, the bar was set.
The bar is now set.
So I think that the challenge in front of us now is how do we do this next year, and how do we do it better, and how do we improve on some of the things that we did. I'll tell you, one of the things that I feel really good about was our public engagement. The location that we had and the location we're looking at for next year had just a huge amount of foot traffic, and we had so many people stop by and ask, what the heck are you people doing? And some of them asked just exactly like that.
They did.
Let's break. Others were a little more of the polite nature. What is the event that you guys are here for? But all in all, it was a great opportunity to expose the public to amateur radio and share a little bit about radio. It was also an opportunity for us to talk about GMRS radio. Even though it's not a GMRS event, family radio and hiking in Amicalola Falls are two things that people quickly recognize are a good idea. People would comment about, I don't have a radio, so I'm going to need you to come with us. The flip side to that is why don't you have a radio? People should, if you're going to engage in outdoor activities like that, maybe packing a radio should be one of those standard items that you always take when you do that. So it's a lesson that hopefully we can share with the public and help them understand that can be an important tool for enjoying the wilderness. One of the things that we encountered while we were there, Jim was on his way back to the cabin, a short road trip from where we were operating, and in his travels, he encountered a bear on the road up toward his cabin. So there is wildlife in the area. We didn't really see any bears at the operating position that we were at, but there's signs all over the place that warn you about not to feed the animals, and there's reasons why. So Yeah, that was the location that we were operating from. And
In the woods.
In the woods with that stream to the right, rolling by, and just, it sounded like we were right there at the waterfall.
Right, and on the left was the trail for everybody coming up, going to
the
falls.
stairs. Yeah,
so
to the
we got
falls.
a lot of foot traffic going by.
And so it was a lot of fun. We had a great time operating in that pavilion. We're going to be at a different pavilion next year, but it's not far from this one, and it's a lot more accessible. So I think that that'll be a big improvement overall. All right. With that, I think let's go to the top and let's check on our roster here. It looks like
that's right. We do have a roster of people that checked in, didn't we?
2 or 3.
Okay.
I can't find my.
The YouTubes weren't live there for a minute, so I don't know that we got all the YouTube check-ins.
We'll check on that here momentarily.
Not a problem.
Yeah. No, we're still live on YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I meant on the list.
Oh.
I don't know that you've called out.
Oh, did I miss some of our YouTube check-ins?
I think we missed most of them.
Well, let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, there's a whole separate section of YouTube check-ins.
Down at the bottom now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is.
We got a pile. We need a break.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, according to this, am I in the right tab? I am.
Yes.
We've got a ton of check-ins here.
Right.
So we're at 98.
All right. So
there was a little error on our remote logger.
I see. Okay, so we've got
But
Atlanta,
he got it covered.
Atlanta 379 Scott from Sandy Creek. Scott says he's in tonight. Chattanooga 84. I think we've got him logged already. Jim from Hickson is in and out. Rome 43 Bill in Cave Springs. I'm pretty sure I've acknowledged that one. We've got McDonough 22 Tim. I think that's a new one from Stockbridge is in tonight. Atlanta 102 Jackie in Covington is in tonight. Atlanta 532 Tom in Flowery Branch in and out. Atlanta 313 Stephen in Sewanee in and out. CW40 Robert from Nicholson in and out. Atlanta 166 Craig in Hoshton. I think I'm saying that right. He got his TAC number on Monday. Congratulations, Craig. Glad to have you along. Got a guest check-in from WSML 769 Josh. Another one from WSFT 239 Walter. Atlanta 251 Frank in Alpharetta just got his TAC last week. Gainesville 44 Joe is in Ohio.
I thought I heard him on RF.
I thought I heard him on RF too. Atlanta 403 Bobby in it says relay. I think these might have been.
They're doing the twofer, I think.
Yeah, there must be. We've got Atlanta 181.
Who's that?
That's Melissa.
Yeah.
From Cumming. Do you know who that might be, Jim?
I certainly do. That's my wife.
Good evening, Melissa. Glad to have you along tonight. We've got Rome 11 Mark in Adairsville, marked as in. We've got Atlanta 245 Tom in Powder Springs. Are these all YouTube check-ins? Is that why?
It might be. There was a copy and paste thing, so I don't know whether they got highlighted.
So then we've got Gainesville 42 Ben in Gainesville. Rhino says he has a comment. We'll have to come to that later, Rhino. Well, we're going to actually call on him before we ever get to his comment.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
And in here, specifically from YouTube, we have WSND 815 Jack. We're not sure where Jack is at, but he's watching on YouTube.
He's with us.
Thanks for that, Jack. We got WREM 230 from Blount City, Tennessee. WRSN 677. We're not sure who that is or where they're from. We got you logged. WRQE 398 Richard in Hayesville is a regular with us. Thanks for hanging out tonight, Richard. McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge checking in on YouTube as well. WRXD 340 David in Wichita. Glad to have you along tonight, David. Thank you for that.
Got a break?
Yeah, let's do that. Be right back. We got Rome 12 Mark from Avery's Peak is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 180 Jim from Cumming checking in on YouTube.
Yeah, it's nice of him.
WSNI 885, Eric in Alpharetta, just got his GMRS license after field day.
Outstanding.
Fantastic. Glad to have you along, Eric. Hope that you enjoy the program. Tacoma 33, Matthew in Pickens is a YouTube check-in. We've got WSAI 254, Kai is a former North Georgia GMRS member that still sticks around. Glad to have you listening in, Kai. We have Atlanta 374, Lamar in Dawsonville checking in on YouTube. Atlanta 1402, Todd incoming, just learning how to check in. And we've got you in the log, Todd, so no fear there. Chattanooga 82, Oliver in Rossville is a YouTube check-in. All right, and so with that, let's go ahead. Well, let me just say, if you didn't get checked in, if you're not one of the 98 check-ins that we have tonight, some of these are duplicates. So I think when you take out the duplicates, we probably have, well, like 6 or 7?
Maybe.
Yeah.
10. Let's call it 10.
10.
Solid 10.
Bobby says, I'm looking at a roster from weeks ago. I suspect that might be true. I don't exactly know.
So Bobby's not in Ohio anymore?
No, well, yeah,
We'll have to go over that in the after action
Are you
meeting.
guys seeing the same log that I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Yes. I just
from
watched
tonight?
you read that log. Yes,
Yes,
you are.
This is accurate. If you
But
look
it
at the
was
top.
also, some of it was entered on the wrong sheet and then
Yeah.
copied and pasted over.
It happens.
Okay.
So
Dupes count.
Dupes do count.
Yes.
All right, we're taking them all. So Bobby, what you said is probably true. We don't care anymore. We're taking them all. I think.
Yep.
So we've got Scott in Rossville. WSH9839 is also a YouTube check-in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Scott. So if you didn't get checked in, we're going to take one final round of check-ins when we get to the end of the roster. But between then and now, let's go to the top of the roster, and we've got Rhino, the 40-meter madman.
40-meter madman
is checking in with us tonight. Rhino, what are your comments with relation to Webtools for GMRS? And do you have any comments about your experience last weekend?
Net Control, this is WSJL 977, Atlanta 123, Rhino on Cheshire Bridge Road. Good evening, Net Control. I'll start with Field Day. I had an absolute blast. It was more fun than I expected to have. I am a technician level amateur radio operator, but I got to go and do something I wasn't expecting. We all had a get on the air station set up, and that's where not just technician level amateur radio license, but anybody, anyone coming off the street. So that includes any GMRS licensed operator could get on the bands and experience different radio operations, which of course is operating outside of my band limit. So I had a blast. I wasn't expecting to be able to get on and operate 20 meter and 40 meter. I talked to Western Washington State outside of Seattle. I talked to Puerto Rico. I talked to Rhode Island. I talked all over the country. It was amazing.
True story.
And I had a lot of blast helping come and deploy all of that equipment, all the antennas. One of the funniest things, I crashed out, got up, I slept in my truck, got up in the middle of the night at like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Jim is walking in circles around the pavilion, gets me set up to work 40 meters, and then goes and plays bear food over by the creek.
True story.
That was a lot of fun. Let me cycle. And so, yeah, it was a blast. I can't wait for next year. And just count me in if we're doing a winter field day too. I know that's going to be cold, but I'm really looking forward to it. Resources. I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that you guys haven't mentioned yet that is on the North Georgia GMRS.org website is the tab. It's up in the top right corner. It says MOU. MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And There is a code of conduct attached to that, which I truly appreciate. One of the most important things that I learned here, believe it or not, is how to call out for someone. In what order do I put my TAC number, their TAC number? How do I officially call out for someone? And I really appreciated this being here. And it includes the terms of service. I have a new TAC number. I used to have a different TAC number. I let my membership lapse because I didn't understand how it all worked. And if I had read this beforehand, it explains it. It explains it perfectly. So that is a really good resource for me. Other resources, I've gone back and watched way earlier nets. Let me cycle one more time. I've gone out and I've gone back on the YouTube channel and watched other nets and gained a lot of understanding there. And then, of course, the most valuable resource of all, in my opinion, is the membership. And it's been the most enjoyable to research. The people here, the fellowship that I've experienced with this organization has been outstanding. And it's funny enough, this group of people, if you ask them about anything about radios, it's weird. They love to talk about it. And so they'll tell you everything you want to know and more about whatever question you may have. So that's what I've learned. That's been my experience. A lot of fun, and that's pretty much all I have to share tonight. So this is WSJL 977 Atlanta 123 Rhino on Cheshire Bridge Road. Back to you, Net Control.
Well, fantastic stuff, Rhino, and I'm glad you had a great time at Field Day. It was fun to watch the level of excitement that you brought to the air. And, I look back on, times when Julie and I had opportunities to engage in contesting, and she's exhibited very much that same level of can't pry her away from the radio, and just really loves that aspect of making new contacts all over the place, and it just expands the level of excitement that you have for radio, and to also go into the MOU. There's lots of resources on the webpage that we haven't talked about, but I think that the MOU is definitely one that's worth bringing to light. It's not only is it in terms of service, like you've mentioned, but it's also, there's some operating information in there, and there's, a basic set of expectations. So, and here's the other thing, all right? If you're dissatisfied with the way people are behaving on the air, the MOU is our tool to address that. And if you bring it to our attention, if something's going on the air that you don't think is right, that we should address, bring it to our attention. In some cases, we're able to play back audio. So if you can note a date and time when an exchange took place, we'll do our best to enforce the rules with our membership. We do have an interesting set of circumstances that have come about here recently with a couple of former members who have been asked to leave with cause, who have found their way back into the network, and are I guess maybe hoping that because all the old folks have left, maybe the new folks that are here won't realize that they've been banned at some point or another for their behavior on air. And so if that becomes problematic, we will begin to make their identity known in various ways so that you will know that that is a person you don't want to communicate with over the air. That's the tool that we have, right? One of the things that we love about radio is being able to talk. We can grab the radio, we can grab the microphone, we can key up just about any time and find somebody on the air that's monitoring that we can talk to, day or night. There's almost always somebody there. And these folks, I think, have figured out that if they jump on the air at certain hours, maybe admin leadership won't be listening and they can get away with some traffic. Well, we've heard them, and we're aware. So I think that our response to that is going to most likely be in the form of a new letter defining their particular violation, and we'll go from there. Hopefully that'll that'll be the end of it. Let's break. But one of the more important parts of enforcement of a rule like that is within the membership itself. If they come on the air and they call out and no one responds to them because they understand that this is a person they're not supposed to engage with on the air, then I think they'll just go away. I think that'll just take care of itself. So we'll have to take a look at that, and if it becomes a larger issue than it is, then that's the road we'll go down. MOU can be a really good tool for us to use to keep this network the way that we want it to be. Unfortunately, there are those outside of our membership that we don't have any influence over, and we're trying to use the resources that are available to address that. And it's an effort and it's an expense, but I think eventually we'll get there. And we've just recently had a set of new laws passed in Georgia that might help. So
indeed,
we'll explore that in greater depth. But we're aware of some of those new laws, and like I say, we'll just have to see how that all comes into play. But I think there's some tools there that we can use. We just have to get to that place where we can apply them. All right, thank you for that, Rhino. Appreciate your comments. With that, let's move on to Mr. No Show, Colt. We were looking for you. In fact, we had a station set up specifically because I'd heard that you wanted to do some carpet communications via satellite. But did you guys see Colt? Did he show up like maybe in the middle of the night or something?
No, I don't think that was the case. But he's tactical. He may have been able to spot us and we couldn't find him.
Sneak it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he was there and we just
in
didn't
the
know
darkness.
It. Yeah, Colt, what have you got for us?
This is WSM494, chatting at 260, or I don't know what's supposed to go first, but I normally jot that up. yeah, you know, you just call me S2 Underground, you never know. I tell you, there's a lot of people want to talk, so I'll be short. The most important part of our website, which I don't understand why we have not communicated yet, is Julie's tips. You know, this is one of the most thought through, most important part for any new member is Julie's tips. And I just want to, you know, throw some light on that. There's all this drama, all this shade going on. And sometimes we just need a little bit of brightness in our lives. Back to you, Net Control.
Well, I have to agree, Colt. I think that Julie's tips, if you go to our YouTube page, there's a segment specifically for Julie's tips. And right. Julie was a very regular appearance for a long time in many of our older nets. And she covers all kinds of radio topics. One of the better ones is some, you know, along the lines of radio etiquette and simple family communications. So one of the things that we've kind of gotten away from, and I'd really like for us to move back towards, is simple, straightforward communications. We don't need Rogers, we don't need overs, we don't need any radio lingo here. In fact, I think that sometimes we get formalized in the way that we communicate, and that does more disservice to us in attracting new users than casual, informal conversations. Of course, we have to identify for the FCC's sake. We have to do that. TAC numbers are not required by the FCC, but they're available for us to use to identify one another on the network. So that's something that I think we're pretty good at, and we utilize TAC numbers in the correct way. Beyond that, you know, our conversations should be very casual, friendly, joking, jabbing, just normal interactions like you would have with someone if they were standing in front of you. And I think that that's very much the intent of what GMRS is supposed to be, and I think that's also very much what we expect out of the FRS/GMRS radio band is family-oriented, casual communications without a lot of lingo, without a lot of Rogers and 10-4s and that sort of thing. Now, the FCC specifically calls out that we cannot engage in coded communications in GMRS radio. So what are coded communications?
Encryption would be an example of that.
Encryption would be an example.
10 codes?
10 codes are an example, but the FCC specifically allows 10 codes, but Q codes
Q
are
codes.
not mentioned by the FCC. Now, the FCC allows 10 codes, but North Georgia GMRS in our MOU, we point out 10 codes and we ask that you not use those for the same reasons. It's part of that radio jargon that
might intimidate certain.
It might intimidate certain
operators.
people, but it also associates with another group of radio operators that we really want to distance ourselves from. So we got these rogue CB folks that are out there that sometimes bring an unattractive element to the airways. We have that anyway without 10 codes. We're doing our best to get rid of that, but we just want to make sure that we instill some distance between that radio culture and the culture we're trying so hard to cultivate here. Let's break. Now, I think this membership does a great job of, self-policing in terms of coded messages. And, of course, we've got a lot of hams in the group. And so every now and then, terminology and phrases that are related to ham radio spill over. It's going to happen. I mean, we have a tough enough time getting our call signs right.
Picking the right call sign for the right network can be problematic.
That can be.
That has bit me.
Just throw both of them out.
So
cover your base.
you're right. So we just need to be mindful of keeping our ham stuff on the ham side of things and our GMRS stuff over here. I don't think anybody's going to get too bent out of shape if we goof up now and then, either in call signs or in Q codes or in whatever. 73s. That's a ham term.
Right.
And sometimes for us it's kind of hard. We throw that out there just because in habit.
Or say QSL when we're done talking and want to make sure somebody understood us. But that doesn't translate, and we've got to be on guard for that because we don't want people to think that there's gatekeeping to being able to get on the air here, because there's not. We just use normal language.
And we want to encourage that. We want to encourage that to keep our family and our spouses in particular engaged and interested. And so we want to just keep all of those things to a minimum as best we can. So good stuff, Colt. And I have to agree. Julie's tips are it's a good place to go for just basic information.
Absolutely.
She covers all kind of topics and with great amounts of information. It's not overwhelming. It's very simply written and spoken in plain language. And if you spend some time with Julie's tips and you still don't understand, Facebook is another great resource. If you've got questions and you'd like to get a fairly immediate answer, if you go to our Facebook page, North Georgia GMRS Network, and ask your questions there. One thing this group is very, very different than most Facebook groups that I've seen. You can ask the same question that has been asked 17 times over the last 4 months. You can ask that question again. No one will snark at you.
Right.
People won't say, well, you should have searched the page before you asked that question. You don't get any of that. You'll get an answer to your question. And it'll be straightforward and honest and forthright and informative. And what's interesting is we don't really police the page. We do a little bit of moderation on the page, but I don't have to go through and cull people's comments. Very rarely do I have to go through and remove anything. Let me break. That's just the culture of our Facebook page that has come from the people who have come from this network. So it's a safe place to come and ask simple questions and complicated questions. No matter what kind of a question you ask, no matter how ridiculous or how many times it's already been asked and answered, we're going to do our best to give you a straightforward answer and get you the information that you need. And it's our members that are answering these questions. It's not that Gary and I are going through and giving specific answers. I do when I see them, but I'm honestly not on Facebook anywhere near enough to be able to be effective at answering a lot of those questions.
That's for sure. Me neither.
Yeah, but when I get on Facebook and I see people have asked questions and I look through, great answers most of the time.
Right.
And sometimes they'll
Thoughtful
come on
ones.
to maybe redirect a little bit, but for the most part, our members are giving good information just all the time. So feel free to go there and ask questions, and I think that you'll be pleased with the result. Thanks for that, Colt. With that, we're going to continue on with Atlanta 128 New Gary right here in Woodstock. Gary, what comments do you have about Webtools, and what about your experience at Field Day?
This is WSMF 551, Atlanta 128, Gary from Woodstock. First of all, I had a ball at Field Day. It was so much fun. It was my first ever. I'm a fairly new ham. I'm new at radio in general. Had so much fun. The technical side of it was awesome, working with Jim and Tony and Ed, just everybody setting up, and then just operating a lot of the night was tons of fun, battling the FT8 station to get it working, the logging. It was just, everything was fun. So yeah, the Field Day was amazing. I'm looking forward to future Field Days. Let me break real quick. Regarding Webtools, you talked about my GMRS versus RepeaterBook. I live on RepeaterBook. I mean, if you sign in, which you can just set up a free account, you can do exports from it for ham repeaters and stuff, and you can export it right into chirp format. So I keep an Excel spreadsheet with all of the repeaters that I care about. That way I can kind of copy them and program them on all my radios exactly the same, because I got so many different handhelds and mobiles and everything. So I use that like crazy. Yeah, I agree that my GMRS is seemingly sort of stale. But yeah, the GMRS listing on RepeaterBook is great. So I mean, I use that extensively. I also use AI like crazy to ask a lot of questions. So whether it be Claude or Copilot or Gemini on Google, whatever, I ask tons of radio questions. I mean, I have learned an absolute ton from asking AI questions. Now, it's not always right. Sometimes it hallucinates, but it is still a pretty incredible resource. So that pretty much rounds out what I do. So back to you, Net Control.
Good stuff, Gary. And I'm really pleased to know that you had a good time with Field Day and engaged in some of the technical challenges. And that's particularly good news because you may or may not know that you've been drafted to be on the 2027 Field Day committee. So you
congratulations.
You're stuck now. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that you'll be an asset in your own right with your own set of skills. Even though you're new to radio, your other experiences were brought into play and were effective at getting us set up and underway. So,
all the logging networked and everything. No, he was incredibly helpful.
So very good stuff. Glad to have had you engaged, and looking forward to working with you on other projects moving forward. Next on the list, we've got Chattanooga 2-4, Roy Lee in Dalton, the carpet capital of the world. Roy Lee, are you still with us? And do you have any ideas or suggestions for web tools for GMRS radio? All right, not hearing anything from Roy Lee. He's typically in and out, so I'm going to mark him that way in the log, and we're going to continue on. Next on the roster, we have Atlanta 403, Bobby at the Vortex, which is kind of strange considering Joe's in Ohio. Joe's in Ohio. I don't think Joe's in Ohio.
WRAT 241 Atlanta 403. No, Joe is sitting right next to me here. You were looking at a log from, I don't know, almost a month ago, I guess. I don't know what was going on. We saw it come up on the screen. We were like, what the? But, yeah. What can you do? Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, I forgot to edit my announcements this week, and they were still set up for ARA instead of GMRS. Let me break. But, that stuff just happens. Busy week for everybody, so. But, yeah, I am definitely here at the Vortex over here in Cleveland, hanging out. Just had a great dinner, so. And it's good to hear everybody had a good time on Field Day. I talked to Dana from our Field Day over on the border of White County and Lumpkin County. And it sounds like you had a good turnout, good people there, and sounds like everybody had a good time. We had a very good time, but we got rained on. I don't know about what happened by you guys, but we got
Couple
rained
times.
on 2 or 3 times Saturday.
Yeah, we had some afternoon rain as well, and unfortunately the rain kind of drove the crowd away. But the other side effect of the rain was parking became easy again.
Right.
So all the time that we spent circling the parking lot trying to find a parking spot, when that first rain came through, parking suddenly became possible.
Exactly.
But by the time the third rain came through, parking was wherever you wanted. They were gone. And but as the evening came in, there was no further rain. And surprisingly, we did have a weird collection of insects, but mosquitoes were only a small part of them. So we had...
It wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be. As far as the mosquitoes go. That's for sure.
That's right. So we did have some strange insects, but all in all, it was pretty good through the evening. Someone had made a comment. I guess it was either Gary or Rhino about you posing as a bear sickle.
Yes, absolutely.
Propped up between a couple of folding chairs,
right next to the creek.
Right next to the creek. So tasty morsel, and they could wash their paws after.
Absolutely. Well marbled.
Out there in the elements, and it's just such a peaceful evening, and I don't think you could do that comfortably here because we really haven't had a chance to address the mosquito issue here since the rain 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's rained frequently enough that I hate to put any spray out because I don't want to waste it.
Right.
And I don't really want it to get washed into the ecosystem here. So
now it's hot as Hades.
But it is. But if we've got a period with no rain on the horizon, I'll go ahead and get some of that stuff out there and see if we can get them back under control. So, all right, next on the list we've got Atlanta 151 Russell from Dawsonville. Russell, I don't know, did we see you at Summerfield Day, or did you not make it? All right, we're going to go ahead and show Russell as in and out and keep right on moving. Next on the roster is Atlanta 191, and that's going to be Jim from Holly Springs. Jim, did you participate in field day somewhere? I don't think we saw you out at Amicalola Falls, but were you engaged in another field day?
Yeah, I was. I was over in Taylorsville with the group from Woodstock, and I was laughing when y'all were talking about giving out the wrong codes and using code and all that. One of the most common ways for me is picking up the wrong microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
we've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done that, and we all still do that. I think that's.
And
one
we
of those
look at a
habits
radio
that-
going, "Why is nobody answering me?"
Right. And I've got in my truck, I've got 2 different radios. I've got one for amateur, one for GMRS, and the microphones are different, but it doesn't seem to matter. I still can't. I still can't not do that. So, that's just part of it. And I don't think that anybody's going to get too bent out of shape over an error like that. Partly because we all make that mistake, and partly because we're all here to have a good time and enjoying radio, whether you get it right or you get it wrong. As long as you're on the air, you've gotten it right. I think that's the most important thing.
Right.
Is we just need to get on the air and enjoy the radio and enjoy each other, and I think that's a big part of it. Jim, do you have any advice for new users related to internet web tools?
The biggest thing is just get in there and don't be afraid to click on a link and find out where it takes you.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, there's a pretty safe. It's a pretty safe environment within the North Georgia GMRS website. We're hosted by one of those big companies that constantly scans for stuff, and we don't have anything that would really put any of that nasty stuff into our web page. So I think it's a pretty safe environment to just click on anything on a page. I guess I would caution you about clicking just anywhere. So be sure you make it to our web environment first, and that it's not some imposter page or something like that. You know, if they're asking you for personal information, think long and hard before you enter anything on any website about that. You know, even things like if you're shopping for stuff, number one, never use your debit card when you're shopping online. Always use a credit card. Many credit cards have built-in protections that if you get scammed online, you won't be responsible for the charges. So you can contact the credit card company, say, hey, look, this is what happened. They'll take the charges off your account, and they'll pursue whether or not they get the money back or not, and they'll take that upon themselves. So always use a credit card when you're doing transactions online. And, you know, some credit cards, like, for instance, Capital One, they will give you, and I'm betting that there's other cards that will do this too, but they will give you a one-time use credit card number that you can plug in. So you tell Capital One that you want to make an online purchase. They give you a temporary card number that you can plug in, and that's good for one purchase. And after that purchase, if somebody tries to steal the card number and make additional transactions, they won't work. And your primary card number is never exposed, so you are protected in that way. Lots of things to consider. I like the idea of just click on whatever and figure out where it takes you on the North Georgia GMRS webpage, but that scares me everywhere else. Good stuff, Jim. Thanks for hanging out with us, and glad you had a good time at Field Day. Next on the roster, we have the Oracle from Mount Olympus. That'd be Atlanta 250. Dana, high atop Mount Olympus. Dana, did you ever make it out to? Did we ever see Dana at Field Day?
I think we did.
I don't know.
Did
we
he make it?
Did he make it?
I don't
remember.
Yeah.
Dana, were you there? Uh-oh, he's fell asleep. He's still tired from Field Day.
Those stairs will do that.
It appears that Dana has fallen victim to the recliner yet again.
And we had such good pictures, too.
We did.
Yeah, we did. All right, we're going to continue on. Maybe we'll wake Dana up at some point along the way, but we're going to talk a little bit quieter now so he can get some rest. Next on the list, we've got Atlanta 849 Pamela in Duluth. Pamela definitely made an appearance at Field Day, and Pamela was all prepared for her opportunity to engage with the public and share the news of radio, GMRS radio, amateur radio, and anything else that we had to share with folks as they came by. And, well, then it rained.
Then it rained.
Then it rained.
Then it rained.
But, Pamela, what are your comments, and what suggestions do you have for Webtools for any of our new users?
Well, good evening, gentlemen. As far as the Dana situation, I do believe I heard him say he was in and out this evening. So there's your answer. What the problem is, who knows? It's probably that recliner. But anyway, yeah, it was great getting there and getting down those steps. Well, that was a fun trip. The best thing of all, getting down there to y'all. And it was really interesting, let's put it that way. And, yeah, I'm glad I got there, even we were a little bit late in the afternoon. But, hey, we didn't have any problem parking. I parked right there by the steps, and I guess I was fortunate.
There were no parking spots by the steps. Well, very good. Yes, and Dana may have said in and out, but he doesn't get that privilege. So
we call him anyway.
We call on him anyway, pretty much no matter what. But in any case, glad that you made it out there. And there's one more thing that we probably should talk about coming very soon on the very next North Georgia GMRS Network. Pamela will be on with us right here at Studio Vanguard, but also remote. With the weekly announcements. So stick around for that, and we'll be bringing the announcements occasionally from Duluth via Vanguard. Pamela, do you think you're ready?
Maybe not.
Did we have a stuck key? Because that yellow light just came on. All right. We may have had a stuck key. I'm not sure. Pamela, are you ready for your debut of weekly announcements on the YouTube live stream?
Are we good? Are we good now?
We're not red. Somebody check.
All right.
Yeah, we're getting out.
We got a dead battery on an HT, maybe? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But, we're not hearing Pamela, so we're going to continue on. Next in the list, we've got Mr. YouTube. Atlanta 557 helping us out with the YouTube live stream, monitoring the chat.
Mr.
Ed, how did you enjoy the field day event? Do you have any suggestions for web pages people should use, particularly new users, and anything from the live stream chat that you want to bring to us?
Yes, sir. Well, good evening. Yeah, lots to share. Pamela was talking. I heard her on RF, so not sure why you guys couldn't hear her. But absolutely, that was my first field day as well. Had a blast. My wife came, and she sat around the information booth and talked to people. And we spent the weekend up there and had a blast. So definitely looking forward to doing it again next year. And I guess that's it. I mean, it was a wonderful time. I encourage anybody that didn't go this year to think about attending next year, even if it's just to drop by for an hour or two and check it out. It's a lot of fun. Regarding the YouTube chat, there is one question that maybe we can address, and that is someone asked how would they go about having the organization look at potentially putting a repeater up in the Blue Ridge area. So if we can just kind of reply to that and let them know the right path to take on that to get it evaluated. And then as far as web pages, let me break. As far as web pages, there's a couple of tools that I've used to kind of give me a better feel for line of sight between my location and either a repeater I'm trying to hit or a person I'm trying to reach simplex. And there's two websites. One is called SCADAcore, SCADACORE.com. And one of the tools that they have lets you put in two coordinates, and it shows you a line of sight topographical map showing any obstructions, natural obstructions like hills and mountains and what have you. And that's a great tool to use just to see why maybe you can't reach some place that you think you ought to be able to reach. That'll give you an idea if there's any natural obstructions in the way. Another tool that kind of can do the same thing is Google Earth. One of the features of Google Earth is it lets you put pins into locations like my base station and a repeater, and then I can turn on the 3D mapping and kind of spin that around any way I want and look at it from any angle, and it draws a straight line as the crow flies between the two locations. And again, you'll see that line go right into a mountain if you've got a mountain in between you. Both of those are great tools to let you see if you've got any natural obstructions between where you are and a point you're trying to reach. Back to you.
Well, the resources that we have available these days, it's just pretty amazing. Being from northern Indiana, it's really super flat up there. And driving around in that area, you can drive up and down hills and still not change your elevation overall, but by a couple of feet all day long. And as I've always thought that, to build out a network like ours in northern Indiana would be super easy, because grain elevators are typically 100, 150 feet above average terrain. They're above everything. They're above the tree lines, and even if there are trees, Because grain elevators are above that. So you could maintain contact in line of sight with grain elevators from such a long range because there's just no terrain to really obstruct your signal. Down here in Georgia, we've got some terrain.
There's a lot of terrain.
A lot of terrain.
There's not much that's flat. So
nope.
Just a difference in elevation from where we're parked at right now versus the front yard is significant, and that is exaggerated the further you go back into the property. Fortunately, we've got good enough average elevation here that we can get to Flagship pretty readily. You can get to Flagship from the backyard with an HT. It just won't be clean. From the front yard, you can get to Flagship with full quieting. So it's, location is everything. And when you're trying to operate, that's something to bear in mind, is sometimes just a small difference in position can make a huge difference in performance. There have been plenty of times that I've heard conversations on my way home from work and tried to engage, and the terrain and the structures and whatnot along I-75 are such that it's tough to get out. So I often just listen when I'm in a truck, and then when I get closer to Woodstock, I know I've got solid coverage, and I may try to make a call out then. But that's the tools that we have available are just absolutely amazing, and to be able to find the terrain.
And that might be something for a new person, because I experienced it when I first kind of started. I thought, I'm driving, especially going up and down hills, and the radio would be cutting in and out. I'm like, oh, something wrong? What's going on? Am I losing? Is it me? Is it them? What's going on? So just take it with a grain of salt that you're not going to get a perfect signal every time. It's not going to be,
especially not going through the valleys.
Yeah, because
right.
Up and down my road, I get that in and out a little bit. So, but yeah, I just want to throw that out, especially for the newer users that are out there.
Good stuff. All right, and Ed, with that in mind, let's break. We're out of time. With that in mind, you'd made mention of a comment from YouTube, and I've forgotten what it is. Can you bring
the Blue
Ridge
repeater possible?
Oh, the Blue Ridge repeater.
If there's a way to look at somebody getting one. Or
yeah, as with all things repeater, it's all about location. So we were on Blue Ridge in the past, and the location just wasn't great. We invested a significant amount of labor and money into improvements in that tower site. But the shelter was terrible, and there was site owner was doing no maintenance, and we left that site. I think we left our equipment at that site.
Yeah. Oh wow!
I don't think it's worth recovering. It's covered with the animal stuff.
Okay.
Oh.
You can have it if you want it. I don't think anybody wants it. So we're not going back there. If we're going to go to Blue Ridge, we're going to need a location, and that's 90% of it. So, and I don't know that right now we have it in our budget to stand up another repeater. We may have some equipment on the shelf that we could put into play, but probably by this time next year, if there were an opportunity in Blue Ridge, location became available, we could probably make it happen.
Right.
So
because Blue Ridge is over. There's another mountain between them and like the Fort Mountain location or the Flagship.
Mm-hmm.
So Blue Ridge is sitting a little too low to get to those two. Okay. I
Well,
don't know the area that well.
I guess there's news of a development that may be coming. Next summer. So as we speak, I'm seeing.
Well, the boss was listening.
Yeah,
that's true.
To every word.
To every word.
So a potential location on the Tennessee-Georgia line may be coming up next summer.
Outstanding.
That would cover that area, we think?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
First we're hearing about it, so thanks for the question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah,
Thanks for putting that in
definitely.
the chat.
And that's exciting stuff. So I know that the Blue Ridge area is one that we do want to cover. There's lots of areas we want to cover. It all boils down to a couple of things: opportunity, relationships, and money.
Yep.
So, and when those three things can come together, because if we've got an opportunity with an unknown entity, we've kind of been burned a little bit by that. All right, people have come to us and say, hey, why don't you locate your radio in my shelter, where I may not even have the authority to authorize you to be there.
Oh,
right.
That's problematic.
We've been down that road. Fortunately, that turned out in our favor, but it had the potential to be disastrous.
Sure.
So it's location, opportunity, relationships, and money. When those things come together, we can make it happen.
We need a break.
Yeah, let's break. Okay, the last time that my phone chimed,
yes,
it said Ducktown. I don't know where Ducktown is.
I've heard of Ducktown.
Ducktown, Tennessee.
Oh,
I've heard of Ducktown.
That's out there in a quackback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Tony's going to pull it up on the map here.
All right, we'll get an image of Ducktown here in a moment, and we'll see if we get an idea where this is going to be. See if this satisfies the Blue Ridge request. Hopefully it does. And next summer we'll be here pretty quick. So let's see, where is that?
So it's Ducktown is right there.
Okay.
So we'll put it towards that.
It's so right there's Mineral Bluff. So Blue Ridge is going to be to the right a little bit.
Did I lose Ducktown? No, there it is.
Yeah.
I see Blairsville.
Yeah.
Can we zoom out a little bit?
Yeah. So Blue Ridge is right there by Mineral Bluff, just under it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Ducktown being here, Mineral Bluff being here.
Yeah.
Blue
So
Ridge here.
Ducktown is just north of McKaysville.
Yeah, straight
So,
up 5.
Yeah. So the
Sorry, straight up 5.
The pharmacy at McKaysville.
Is that the one that you can get drugs and guns?
Yeah.
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 Guns and drugs.
Yeah. That's the
nice.
That's
There's
where
one of
you
those
want
in Blairsville as well.
Is there?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get a prescription bottle full of bullets.
You can.
I've got a couple of those. Those are great. I gave one away as a gift, and it was a fantastic gift.
All right.
All right.
Well, we answered a question live.
We did.
Oh, and I'm looking at a coverage map now. Blue Ridge is going to just be saturated.
Covered up?
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so...
glad we could solve
that
answer.
Yeah. Can I?
I
don't know if I'm allowed to do this.
I don't, turn it a little bit.
That's our coverage map. So you see the pin.
We see, yeah, the pin is what?
Is the Ducktown. That's the repeater location.
And green is all of its coverage.
That's
correct?
propagation.
Yep. Green is like HT coverage, and yellow is coverage with a mobile.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
Well, I'm glad the boss was listening.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's good to have those insider bits.
Yeah.
It is.
I didn't even know. Well, maybe I did.
You did?
I don't remember. I think it's been mentioned, and I just never really...
You done forgot?
Yeah. Okay. We are... Where are we at? We just talked with Ed. So, Scott. Atlanta 261. Scott, are you still awake?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Net Control. Yeah, I'm here. You know, I just wanted to throw out this quick story. I won't break. I was at a secret location last week. I wouldn't call it a family vacation, but anyway, broke out the HTs a day later at this secret location near the ocean, and I heard a familiar voice, a beloved North Georgia GMRS member. I won't mention any names, but he's got 2 twin boys, and I just like, oh my gosh, am I in Georgia? And it was just, you know, a small world, and I found the code and keyed up, had a great conversation, and I just like, man, I love that. Just, it was just great. So that was all, and of course I played with the banana boat guys, no pun intended, on the beach with their little radios and so forth. But radio is awesome. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Net Control.
Yeah, Scott. Also, that unbeknownst person also has a third one on the way.
Oh wow!
So,
yeah,
congrats.
That's why I stopped drinking the water.
Water?
Yeah.
Why?
There's something in the water.
Oh, something in the water?
Too many kids.
Oh, too many kids.
Too many kids. All right, good stuff, Scott. Glad to know that you were able to participate in Field Day.
Good hearing you on the voice or on the
AKA
radio.
Beach Day.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was bananas. All right. Good stuff, Scott. Good to hear from you. Looking forward to hanging out with you again sometime soon. You should come over Saturday. Be great to see you. Atlanta 60 is listening. I don't know if he's going to participate, but I would love to hear if Atlanta 60 has any comments about what we did last weekend, and if he's dissatisfied in our performance.
Dissatisfied.
Stand by one.
Stand by one. 1, 2. Oh. I'm going to put my picture of Gary up, not your picture of Gary. Just so you know.
Atlanta 60 to Net Control. Do you copy?
We've got you loud and clear, Gary.
Well, just as I picked up the radio to respond back to you, I noticed the battery was low, so I swapped it out real quick. You guys are doing a great job tonight. I appreciate everything everybody's doing. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad we're able to answer some questions. On the topic of Blue Ridge, we've been looking at a location that is actually going to be donated to us by one of our lifetime members. And it's just a construction project right now. There's already a tower on site. It's got beautiful line of sight from that location, heading south and east and west. So it's just a matter of waiting for time and money to take care of it. But that is in the works, and we hopefully will repopulate that northern sector. New break. So about the last weekend field day event, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to attend. I had some setbacks that kept me down for the weekend, and I wasn't able to get out. But from what I've heard, from what I've seen and observed, it was an awesome success for the ARA organization. Kudos to the folks deeply involved in bringing that together. And I'm looking forward to our wrap-up meeting on the 12th, participating with that. And I don't know what Justin has shared yet, but I'll have some supportive information and news to share with the group. But awesome time. I've attended many, many field days as president of ham clubs, as operators. It's always very challenging and difficult. It's extremely hot. It's humid. There's always been a thunderstorm come up and just downpours all over you. And outside of the pride and the drive to be involved in that, it can be a miserable time. But it sounds like y'all had a great turnout and had a good time and really achieved a lot of great things for the ARA organization. And I'm anxious to hear what the numbers were. Back to you, Justin.
Yeah, good stuff, Gary. And yeah, I got to tell you, it was a tremendous amount of work, but we had all the people that needed to show up showed up, and they showed up with muscle, they showed up with brains, they showed up with energy and drive and willingness and heart and joy. We had so much fun just because of the quality and the nature of the people that were a part of this, and even the crowd, the folks that were out enjoying the park, just had a wonderful time enjoying the various people that stopped by to ask, what in the world are you guys doing?
We have the picture of that, what you're talking about happening right there live on the trail. I think my wife took that picture. That's a great picture of you.
So these are some of the folks that we talked with. Talked with that group for 5 minutes or so, and they were just fascinated with the idea that a GMRS license covers
The whole family.
everyone in the family. They were blown away by that, and so it gave us an opportunity not only to talk about ARA, but also in this environment we had a chance to talk a lot about GMRS radio as well. So I don't know that we're going to see much in the way of new members specifically from this, but I think there's going to be a handful of new licenses.
Great.
Right.
I think that people are energized by the idea of now they may come to us because where else do you go for
Right,
GMRS in this region, and I hope that they do. But I'm just really excited at the idea that we were able to share GMRS radio with a group of people that probably wouldn't have known about it otherwise. There was a young woman named Kristen who has an Instagram page where she does adventures.
Oh yeah.
And so Amicalola Falls was one of her adventures.
Okay.
And so we ended up talking with Kristen for quite some time. Somewhere there's a photo of Kristen and I standing together. She's a very energetic young person, loves the idea of GMRS radio, and is also seemed very curious about the abilities to talk potentially around the world with ham radio. So we didn't get her on the air, but I would have loved to have, because I think she would have been bitten by the bug. And
we got it.
Yeah.
It's
Yep,
about
yep,
to-
there she is. That's Kristen. So
nice.
Oh, it turns out Dana was there.
There he is.
There he is.
There's Dana.
He didn't
Yeah.
Photoshop himself in, did he?
I don't think
I
so.
don't know. It's hard
It's
to say.
known to happen.
Yeah. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Back to you, Gary. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, final thoughts. I'm excited, and I'm so glad to see that that the crew is embracing the ARA mission up there. And sky's the limit, guys. It's all there for the taking. All we have to do is get involved and do it. And I certainly will do my part to be supportive and make sure that everything that we want to do can happen. That's for sure, because it's all about the hobby. It's all about the interest and the involvement. So sky's the limit, guys. Let's keep going. You're doing a great job. Back to Net Control, and thank you very much.
All right, Gary. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Glad to know that you're with us. And thanks for the information related to the Blue Ridge site. That Ducktown is going to be fun to watch that one
Very
come
cool.
online.
It's just fun to say too.
Yeah,
It is Ducktown.
Yeah, it sure is. So once again, thank you. And with that, let's continue on. Next on the list is Gainesville 100. That would be Randall and Buford. Randall, do you have? You were there at our summer field day. Do you have any observations you'd like to share, or do you have any thoughts with regards to Webtools that we've not mentioned yet tonight?
There he is.
All right.
Come on, Randall.
Got your picture ready?
No. We got your picture ready.
All right. Not hearing anything from Randall. We're going to continue on. Next, we have Gainesville 113. Keith in Buford with the most expensive football stadium. Keith, did you have any comments for North Georgia GMRS, the Webtools, or did you engage in summer field day anywhere? All right. I think Keith is a relatively new user and a new member, and he must be in and out as well. That'll bring us next to Chattanooga 30, Jonathan in Hickson. Jonathan, it's hard for me to think that you weren't engaged in field day somewhere. How was your field day experience? We're gonna start losing some folks. I think everybody's gone to bed. We're past their bedtime.
Exactly.
I do have a question from YouTube that I'd like to bring, and that's the global HTs. Are you familiar with what that that model
the
of
push to talk Nextel?
Yeah.
It's not really Nextel anymore, but it's kind of along that line.
Along the carrier frequency.
Yeah.
So
they got the FCC smacked their hand right on some of their advertisements.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, they had to change a lot of their advertisements for falsities.
Saying that they were off-grid utilization. If all the cell phones went away, you could use this. No, you really can't.
Yeah,
Because
you
it
really
uses
can't.
a cell phone carrier.
And so that's the global HT uses the internet, right? And so if the internet is down, guess what? So is your radio. Your radio. So it depends on the LTE network, and that is it's a cellular network.
Right.
Correct.
So it basically is a cell phone that looks and acts and smells like a radio. And global is fantastic because you can't do GMRS overseas.
Right.
GMRS is pretty much a U.S. based radio service. It's not something you can take on a cruise ship. It's not something you can take when you go on your trip to Europe.
Correct.
You're not going to be able to use that. Now, even the amateur radio can be very, very limited and very restricting when you travel outside of the U.S. But there are some options and some ways that you can legally participate in amateur radio overseas. Every country is going to be a little bit different, and you need to explore what the rules are and what the expectations and what the limitations are. Your amateur extra license may be the equivalent of a technician once you leave the borders. I don't really know how that works. I just know that it would be silly to assume that because you have extra privileges here, that you would have them outside of our borders.
The bands are close, but they're not all exactly the same.
Well, one of the things that's so wonderful about amateur radio is no matter what country you're talking to, you can talk to them in English.
Yep.
Right. It's the universal radio language in amateur radio, and so it makes it very easy for us because we can just jump on the band, and if we happen to land in Spain, we can talk to them in English. If we happen to be in Ukraine, we can talk to them in English. If it's Germany, we can talk to them in English. And South America, Brazil, Colombia, whatever, wherever it is, Japan, it's all English. And so that's a wonderful privilege that we have that many others don't really enjoy. They have to make the effort to learn English if it's not their native language. So that's convenient, and like I said, it's just a wonderful privilege. But GMRS radio overseas, if you've got, let's break. If you've got one of these global HTs that's basically using the internet protocol to carry your traffic back, it's not truly GMRS radio or amateur radio. It's something else. And so you're not going to be afoul of any of those likely international amateur rule restrictions that might ordinarily be. But even if it is one of those global radios, man, do some research and make sure that is not going to violate operating rules in some country that you're visiting. Because here's the thing. Cellular uses different frequencies in different parts of the world.
Right.
Some cellular phones are capable of using all of those frequencies, and some are not. And if you're using a device and it's emitting RF energy in a band that is not allowed where you are, you could get in trouble for that.
Correct.
So you want to understand the device that you have, and you want to understand the rules where you're going to be sure that you have truly a global device and not just some marketing hype. I didn't know that there was an FCC crackdown on that.
I heard. I think just on their advertisement that they had to reword some of it.
And that was a big part of the rules change that happened in Part 95 rules back in 2017. You know, there were Part 95 radios that were marketed as FRS radios, and there were FRS radios that were marketed as GMRS radios, and there really is a distinct difference between them. And the FCC, more than anything, wanted to clarify that difference and say, if your radio has a removable antenna, it's not an FRS radio.
Right.
And there were some other things around that were really focused on the distinction between the two operating methods. There were some power restrictions that FRS, that were relaxed a little bit. I think as a result of those rules, in some frequencies you could go up to 2 watts. Before that, you were limited to 1. But all in all, if there's a crackdown, there's probably going to be some rule changes related to that too. So we'll have to watch and see what comes. And word is that the recliner has
awoken.
Has awoken, yeah. So let's go back to 250 and see if Dana remembers anything from field day. Atlanta 250.
Try the other band.
Yeah, try the other microphone, Dana, because we're not hearing you.
He must have fell back asleep.
All right, we'll try again here in just a minute. But while we're waiting for Dana to make it back from the bathroom, let's continue on. Where are we at here? Next in the list is going to be Atlanta 379 Scott in Sandy Creek, New York. Scott is generally in and out, so I don't imagine. And if he's in Sandy Creek, he's going to have a tough time making an RF path back to us. So that may have been
a YouTube
check-in that didn't get marked correctly.
Could be.
But let's go ahead and break just in case Scott's in the neighborhood. Scott, are you with us, or are you just hanging out with us on YouTube?
And nothing.
All right, I think we've just got him marked incorrectly in the log. Let's continue on. We've just got a handful more here. We've got McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge. I think these might have been some of the copy-paste entries. So let's see if Tim is there. I think Atlanta 102, Jackie will be next after Tim. Tim, are you there?
Uh-oh.
And you, Atlanta 102.
Heard something.
All right, not hearing from Tim. We'll continue on with Atlanta 102, Jackie in Covington. Jackie, are you there? All right, there again, I think some of these might have been copy-paste errors in the log, not entirely sure, but the next one I have is Atlanta 166 Craig in Hoshton. Got his tack on Monday, it says.
Congratulations.
All right, how about a guest check-in from WSML 769 Josh? And next is a guest check-in from WSFT 239 Walter. All right. I think that a lot of our audience,
if we put everybody to sleep,
has gone to bed and have fallen into Dana's recliner to never be heard from again. Speaking of Dana's recliner, Atlanta 250, did you ever make it out of the recliner, or has it swallowed you whole?
I think we've got to go with swallowed.
It's looking like Dana's down for the count.
It is.
Yeah. All right.
We got Frank next.
Did you see the comments?
Yes. From Gary.
Oh, what was that? What was the traffic on the air?
That was him. That was Dana, I think.
Come back with that traffic, please.
RQL 521. Brandon in Cedartown. Y'all said I was from Silver Creek earlier, but no, I'm from Cedartown.
That was a wrong repeater.
Brandon from Cedartown. Is this the Brandon that I'm thinking of?
Probably so. Yeah, Cedartown. I sent my $90 in and a rejoined membership thing on there. So I don't know if Gary got it or not, or if he's listening or what. But I went ahead and sent it on in.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, Brandon. Well, it's good to hear you on the air, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what Gary comes back with regards to that membership. I'm aware that there may be some issues there, so we'll see how that plays out. But Brandon, do you have any web tools that you would like to talk about that you use for GMRS Radio? And did you engage in field day last weekend?
No, I did not participate in field day, and yes, I'm sure there's a couple of issues, but as far as what I've been monitoring on the network, y'all have been a lot more, how should I say, acceptant to newcomers and people that have been part of the network before. Y'all been a lot more acceptant here lately for the past several months that I've noticed, and that's really good. That there ain't been no arguing with nobody on the air, and that's really a good thing, because I think y'all finally got the drift that it's not a money hog network. So I think y'all done a whole lot better than what y'all have done in the past. So anyway, as far as Webtools, I actually design websites. So I use all kinds of stuff for Webtools. Now, North Georgia's website is slap full of stuff. So, I mean, pretty well noted, pretty well set up. I ain't got no complaints on it.
Well, thank you, Brandon. And yeah, we have put a lot of time and effort and money into making the website as comprehensive and yet try to keep it simple. Try to make it accessible to a lot of people. We're trying to make there's just a lot to learn, and when you consider what you knew when you were brand new in GMRS and what I knew when I was brand new in GMRS, that the whole repeater thing was something that took me a minute to really get my head around. That understanding how my radio is talking on a different frequency than it's receiving on, and the repeater is reverse of that, and then figuring in the PL tones on top of that was it took a minute to really comprehend how that worked. I mean, it's one thing to have someone explain that to you, but it's another thing to really understand it, and so sometimes that gap between the explanation and the understanding, it's going to be different for everybody, but sometimes it's a big enough gap that it takes you a little longer to really put that together. And so that's one of the things I think a lot of our new folks struggle with. And we sometimes hear people that are trying to check in that can't hear us. Sometimes we hear people that are trying to check in that their signal is just so bad that we just can't make any part of it out. All of these are things that we all have to learn from and grow and hopefully be patient and help one another out and overcome. So hopefully we've overcome our issues of the past, and we can establish a good relationship going forward, and we'll see how that plays. So if you didn't get a TAC number from Gary, I'd suggest you reach out to him and see if there's some resolution that can be made. All right, good to hear from you, Brandon. With that, I think our log is a little bit messed up. So we've got Frank, Atlanta 251 from Alpharetta, is next on our roster. Frank, are you still there? Who?
Jen.
Oh, Jen's in here?
Yeah. And then she just confirmed that she's still listening.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and show Frank is in and out and continue on. I think that's going to be the case with a lot of these. Next in the list is Atlanta 245, Thomas in Powder Springs. Thomas, any ideas or suggestions related to Webtools, and did you participate in Field Day last week? All right, not hearing from Thomas. We'll move on to Ben, Gainesville 42. Ben in Gainesville, same questions. All right, I've got two more on my roster until we get to late check-ins. So let's get through these real quick. Atlanta 1402, Todd in Sugar Hill. Is maybe Todd's incoming now? It says he's incoming. Do we know where Todd is? Todd, do you know where you are?
Net control. This is WRKN 464. Atlanta 1402. Rogers, Justin, good evening. And good evening, Gary, down there in Noonan.
Well, good evening, Todd. Todd, did you have a chance to participate in Field Day last weekend? And do you have any suggestions for new users for tools, particularly web-based tools?
Well, thank you for asking, Justin. I'm sitting here watching the Braves game and a little bit of FIFA World Cup in between soccer games, but I did participate in the Field Day on Saturday with the North Georgia Amateur Radio Club out of Dahlonega, assisting them with some attempts at contacts, but it was kind of slow going. But Webtools, not so much. You know, the whole concept of the Field Day is kind of cool. Everybody had one, and I think, well, you probably already know, Justin, but we already had one back in April at another gentleman's house in April. But it's kind of fun. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot to add as far as the web tool. Not related to anything for the net.
Cool. All right, Todd. Well, with that, we're going to continue on, and next on the roster is the Queen of Hearts. Three queens. That would be Atlanta 255. Her GMRS call sign is WSAM 586, but her amateur call sign is Kilo Quebec 4, Quebec, Juliet, Quebec. Three queens.
Lots of queens.
Yeah. Great to hear you on the air tonight, Jen. And I got to say, before I even give her a chance to rebut any of this, that what a huge effort, and what a fascinating display of antennas.
Absolutely.
And antennas that work.
Yeah, and 2 a.m. pancakes.
And 2 a.m. pancakes. That was fantastic. So we love the 2 a.m. pancakes. We love the antennas and the proof of concept, the application, the design work. You know, even the detail and finish.
Yeah.
On the
that 15-meter jungle antenna that she built and then made out of QSO on. Yeah, that one.
That was a pretty fascinating piece. The tripod antenna.
Yeah.
The SATCOM antenna.
SATCOM antenna.
Homemade. What a neat piece. You wouldn't know it was homemade.
You'd have no clue.
You look at that and you would wonder, where do you buy an antenna like that?
Yep.
And then a closer look, you start to see some of these are
tape measure.
These are homemade details.
Welding rods.
But yeah, this is all so neat stuff. Great effort, and I got to tell you, there were contributions above and beyond that from Jen, related to planning, related to organizing, and just general operations.
And now scoring.
Related. Yeah, she's wrapping up our scoring efforts. So getting that.
She might have something to say about that tonight.
So that would be exciting. Jen, let me give it to you. Are you sure she's there?
Yeah.
Are we getting out? Are we getting in? We had traffic earlier from Pamela that we didn't hear, that it was reported was over the air.
Nothing's showing on the list. She does know we're on GMRS tonight.
Yeah, she does.
Okay. Because we get confused.
Atlanta 255. Jen, are you there?
Let's try that again. How about now?
She just had to plug into the right antenna.
That's all.
Something like
That's
that.
all it was.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Okay, great, guys. All right, I was just saying that, I don't get over on the GMRS side very much, so I'm glad I broke so that you could hear me. I've got a couple of numbers, and I had a great time the whole night. It was an adventure for sure. And let me break. I will say, like, the overnight thing was interesting. The only thing I could keep thinking was, oh man, there's bears in the woods. There's bears in the woods. But Jim was nice enough to lay there right beside the creek, so they would get him first. So I did appreciate that effort, Jim. Thank you very much. But I do have some numbers if you guys are interested.
I think three of us are right here on the edge of our seats.
No, not at all. No.
And then, four of us are on the edge of our seats now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's go ahead with some numbers.
Okay, so I'm not going to venture a point total guess, but what I do have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 call signs, individual call signs made 170 contacts over the course of field day, and those modes included digital, single sideband, and CW, which is more commonly known as Morse code. And then the bands that were worked were 6 meters, 15 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters, and 80 meters, with 40 meters taking the cake on that, and definitely the digital modes coming in as the winner as our big deliverable there.
Fantastic.
Good
so that's pretty cool. So in digital modes, we ran FT8.
Right.
You did run some FT4?
I think Gary ran some FT4, yes.
He did.
Okay. Did we have any other digital modes?
You're trying to sound like digital?
Yeah, right.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
Those
that's
are
pretty
the two
cool.
modes we ran.
That's fantastic. So that was the big breadwinner in terms of scoring. That's great news. I tell you, regardless of where we finish score-wise, I think that this was a championship level effort. Maybe not a championship level score, And that's okay because
Right.
this was our first time out of the gate. We made some mistakes.
Mhm.
We toted a generator down those steps that we didn't need.
Nope.
We should have left that on the truck. And that's not the only thing we toted down that we didn't need.
Right.
So I think the next location will be a little more forgiving if we have excess materials.
Right.
But we needed to have thought things out a little bit more before we just arbitrarily unloaded trucks. I chose to leave some things at home based on pictures that I saw when Jim sent,
Yeah.
there's no way that we would have room for 3 canopies.
No.
Turns
Right.
out we didn't have room for 2.
Right.
We could have maybe made that work, but I think it would have been cluttered and crowded.
Right.
So I think that next year is going to be a very different experience, and it's going to offer a lot more forgiveness if we bring extra material, but we're smarter now, and I think that rather than thinking of bringing 3 canopies, we'll bring 1.
Right.
And we've got a team full of veterans that'll be planning it this year. And I think 24-hour veterans, folks who know what it's like at 3 a.m. and things
Mhm.
like that. And I think next year will just be stellar compared to this year, even though this year was a lot of fun.
We can plan naps.
Oh, absolutely.
We can plan arrivals and shifts and things so that we, can maybe cover
Better station management, get more folks on the air. Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's lots of room for improvement. Despite that, I think what we did for the first time ever for many of us, and the first time leading a gig like this, I think that Jim and Jennifer and a handful of others did a fantastic job. And I think that if you get a chance to catch any of these people on the air through the week, in whatever band it is, I hope that you'll acknowledge their efforts and what they've done to move North Georgia Amateur Radio Association forward. Huge efforts and huge accomplishments, and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more proud of the group, and I think that I'm really, really charged up about doing this again. Maybe not in the winter, but but yeah.
But it's what is the June? What I'm seeing here, June 26th and 27th next year as well.
That is
too?
correct. That's the date for next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Jan, are you in for next year?
Oh, Lord willing and the creeks don't rise. Yes, I will definitely be there. But let me say just a couple other things. We also got the EMS firefighter to visit. We got an ARR section manager message sent off. That's 100 points. And then 10 additional IC-213 messages sent via WinLink originating with RF. So there's another 100 points. And we had a safety officer, so we've got 400 extra points on top of all of those QSOs that the team worked so hard for. And I think we've got some go-to points in there too, so I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised with our final tally. But that's all I've got, so back to net control. I had a great time, guys.
Very good stuff. And I tell you, the go-to scores are not going to represent the engagement that we had with the public.
Right.
Right.
We were able to really have good conversations with a lot of people that never really ventured toward the go-to station and were, I think, maybe a little bit scared of the thought of getting on the air.
Right.
But nonetheless, it was an opportunity to plant that seed, and maybe if they show up next year or at some other ham event, they'll be a little less apprehensive because they've already been exposed, and I think it was a positive experience for everybody that came by our work area.
Well, I think for a lot of hikers that it just some of them you could see it kind of rung a bell. It's like
it did.
Oh well, I've been out there and my cell phone's not worked, but what if I need help?
I
Maybe
think
I need a radio.
Yeah.
So
and there was at least one group where they were walking away saying, "We do need a radio."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like, hey, can we have one of yours? Or So I think that it's not enough to just walk off with a radio. You got to know how to use it.
Right.
Correct.
But I think that seed was planted in that a radio could be pretty handy, and these folks are saying they've got coverage from Macon, Georgia to Knoxville, Tennessee, and good coverage in the mountains. So that being the case, maybe I should have a radio the next time we come out here. I hope that is true, and I hope that they'll be inspired. to learn about GMRS Radio and learn about us and become members, at least in the GMRS side of things. And if not, then, ham. Listen, we've said for years that GMRS Radio is the gateway hobby to other radio habits.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the truth, because GMRS Radio is an entry level radio forum. It's a medium. It's you don't have to know anything. You take the test, and the test is that you apply for your GMRS license with the FCC.
Navigate a government website.
If you
That
can,
is the test.
If you can accomplish that, you're in. So if you can get your license, you're good to go. You don't have to know about propagation. You don't have to know about frequencies. You don't have to know about FCC rules. You don't have to know these things to apply for the license. You'll get the license. Now, you're expected to follow the rules.
Correct.
But
Right.
nothing in the process of getting your license ensures that you even know what they are. So, and that's where we come in. We help new users navigate the rules and understand what the rules are and follow the etiquette and become better radio operators. And eventually, if they're bitten by the radio bug, like New Gary and Rhino and a handful of others, let's break. Then I think we'll see huge participation and huge engagement. We're just not going to see those folks become hams today.
Correct.
So, but planting that seed is a big part of what we did, and I think that's going to go a long way toward getting us, into an RF environment that we want to be. We want to be the kind of neighbors that inspire other people to do good things, and come alongside of us and just be good neighbors. So that's where we're at. We're at the end of the roster. Let's go ahead and take one last round of late check-ins.
Well, Rhino had a comment, right?
Well, but then we went to him.
Then we went to him after he had the
Oh,
comment.
did we?
And I'm
Yeah.
not convinced that Rhino's comment wasn't
a dupe.
Yeah, a copy paste error.
Okay.
So Rhino, if you do have a comment, let us know again.
Or anybody else that has a comment.
That's right. But we're going to break for any additional check-ins, any questions or comments. Now, as late as it is, there might not be any, and that's okay.
Right.
But if you do have a question, this is a great time to get it in. Net Control standing by.
Atlanta 849, a comment this time.
Yeah, Ed was saying he heard her earlier, but we couldn't hear her.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, it looks like she's got the dance floor.
It does look that way.
Let's let her run.
All right, not hearing any additional check-ins, but we did hear a comment from Atlanta 849. Strange things afoot, because others report that they could hear you.
We couldn't hear anything.
Respond earlier, but we did not. I don't know why, but
We were all listening.
we definitely heard you come on with your comments. So, Pamela, let's go back to that earlier conversation and see if we can pick it up again.
All right, guys. So you hear me now?
Yes, we do. We've got you now.
All right. Well, you asked me if I was ready to do the announcements in a couple of weeks, and I said, yeah, been ready. Just had to ask. Anyway, but what I enjoy is with the tools is a Tech Fest. I learned a lot the first Tech Fest I came to, and it kind of got me the radio bug talking to a microphone, because y'all stuck this big old headset on my head and said, here's a mic, speak, and I was just kind of bitten after that. So y'all kind of pushed that on me, but I will get, to the amateur side here eventually so I can join in some other things. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy the lunches, obviously. Let me break. And I appreciate all those that are still listening who have come to the Peachtree Corners lunch at JR's and have made a success of this, and hope to continue on and add more, because we do have some new members that are in the area, so I invite everybody to come in. And it's been a good net. I enjoyed it. And Jennifer, good job. Good to see you there. And I do have pictures of your tripod one. I'll be posting them when I can get things to work out. And I'll send it back to y'all.
Oh yeah, that tripod antenna of Jennifer's was a fascinating piece of equipment. Would have loved to put that into play, but we just had so much.
Yeah, we thought we planned well.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just didn't manage our time.
We didn't leave our
very well.
time properly. Exactly, especially the satellite operations. But we have plans around that for next year.
Well, you know, I stayed too late on Friday night doing the Simplex stuff, and then after the Simplex stuff was done, we had wonderful conversations with lots of people, and I really enjoyed that. And I would love to just do that again.
Right. Absolutely.
Just go find a place where we can hang out, do the Friday night at 9, and then visit for an hour or two afterwards.
That was a blast.
And not have the pressure of going to work tomorrow.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool.
So
we had people coming up community outreach there. Even sitting out there on the balcony at the lodge, people were coming up, what are you guys doing here? What's this radio stuff?
That's right. We did engage in that, and people were fascinated. I think they would have come back for field day had they not been planning on leaving the next morning, but I think we would have seen them down there had that not been the case. But in any case, the engaging in radio activities is it's just a special kind of nerdy fun that I just love. And I'll tell you what I love as much as playing with the radios is just engaging with the people.
Yep.
Hanging out, talking about stuff, telling stories. Some of them are true. You know, it's just I love that kind of stuff, and we were able to do a lot of that during field day. But I stayed up too late Friday night. I had issues on the property Saturday with a lawnmower that took up a big part of my day. It just had to be done. You know, it's just not something I could put off.
All right.
So I had to get that resolved, and finally did. And by the time I got up there Saturday, no, that was Friday. I had the lawnmower issues.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so Friday ended up being a really big day. I was up there stupid early Saturday. I think I napped in the truck waiting for you guys Saturday morning, but I didn't nap enough apparently. So I maybe if we're going to do anything, we need to have better provisions for napping. But if we're going to have those two cabins near the pavilion, I think that napping is something that we can incorporate into our schedules. So that could be very good stuff. Rogers, you missed a wonderful time.
And we miss you.
Yeah, I wanted to be there so bad. And even when I was in Warner Robins about to work, I pulled out my HF rig on mobile, and I tried to actually.
We tried to. I was calling for you on 10. We were trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried it, but
10 was just horrible.
Yeah, couldn't quite make the trip.
Couldn't quite make it, but well, it was fun. Missed having you there, but hopefully
the date now. Maybe you could put it in your calendar so you don't
mark it down.
schedule something else
every year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. This is going to conclude. Oh, let's break. We get the light flashing. We should break. This is going to conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Boy, it was a long one tonight, but
yes.
I think I had a good time.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we were able to be here. We had a total of how many? 104, it says.
104.
There might be a couple blanks in there, but I think we still had good numbers.
We had a big net tonight.
I think we had a pretty big net tonight, even though some of those check-ins are suspicious.
We'll take them.
I didn't see a whole lot of duplicates.
We're gonna take it and run with it, or run without it. Net Control will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a share, so others will see the YouTube live stream. Remember, comments on YouTube videos shows engagement with the video and helps the channel grow. Tune in next week on any North Georgia Amateur Radio Association linked repeater or in a YouTube live stream when we talk about whatever it is we're going to talk about.
What network are we on?
We'll be on. Well, we're on GMRS. We're going to be on the ARA, and
I'm looking at the wrong calendar.
Yeah, well, no, it's not the wrong calendar, but I think it might be. We're going to have to make some adjustments there, because we just recently talked about ammo cans and man packs and stuff on the ARA. So the emergency and urgent comms is something that is really more, I think, of a GMRS-related topic.
Agreed.
So I guess next week's topic is undetermined.
To be announced.
We'll have some conversations about what that is. If you have a suggestion, something you think that we need to talk about, send me an email at justin@nggmrs.org, and we'll definitely put that into consideration and see if we can work that in. We do have a list of topics to talk about that will take us through the end of the year. We've got some vacation stuff coming up. We need to work out and figure out.
We get a vacation?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
No.
I thought I was getting a vacation.
Yeah, I'm going to take a vacation.
Uh-oh.
And when I do, we got to figure out how this is going to play. So hopefully you guys are up for the challenge of making it happen without me. I think you can do it.
Cross the fingers.
Be sure and participate in the Friday Night Simplex Challenge on the Monument Repeater. And if you have an amateur license...
If Dana's awake?
If Dana's awake.
He'll be there.
Okay.
If you have an amateur license, be sure to join in the Simplex Challenge on the N4KHQ repeater. Jim, do you know anything about that challenge?
Absolutely, and we
Does he?
appreciate Mr. Pete letting us use that repeater, but we'll be kicking that off at about 7:15 with early check-in. 7:30 we get all the main check-ins, and at 7:45 we cut over there to 146.550 and see who we can talk to.
All right. Saturday Night Sessions is going to take the weekend off in observance of the 4th of July, but they'll be back with a fascinating topic on July, is it 11?
I think it was 11th.
The 11th.
All right, let me break. Thank you, everyone, for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night. This is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is WSAM 231, Atlanta 180, and my name is Jim.
Atlanta 1150, WRZV 748, Tony.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Rogers.
Oh, happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 250th.
Absolutely. We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Thanks, Ed.
Bye.